What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flagrant. I hope everybody had a wonderful Valentine's Day. I posted something on Instagram recently, and women had quite the reaction to it. I posted this on Instagram, not thinking it would get much. 12 million views later, it turns out women aren't that happy with us. And by us, I don't just mean Alex, Mark, Akaash, and Andrew. I mean just men in general. It seems like there's some frustration. Let's play the clip so that everybody has some context.
Yeah.
Everything about effort. Like, why is the effort doesn't matter when I go to work? What is this? Like, I want you to write a card. What are you talking about? Write a card. Explain to me the effort shit, right? Because
If your girl orders food for you or cooks food for you,
Yeah.
which one means more?
I like it when she cooks, but if she was like, I'd rather just order in, I'm totally cool with that. I just like the fact that she put, she like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what was that?
Yeah, they said Akaash had a thong, son.
Like the fact that she puts what?
The reaction from women about this clip was absolutely insane. You know, we could have had a woman on the podcast, but that would go against our principles. So I think it's just up to the boys to figure out what is going on. Are these women frustrated with us?
It would appear so, dude. It would appear so.
Yeah.
Those are just the lonely ones celebrating Galentine's Day.
What is Galentine's Day?
The ones that they just hang out with their girls because they don't have a actual
See that? Oh,
Valentine's
so you're
Day.
saying that there was an emotional state that they were in, and they really wish a guy would go put out some effort.
I think there's also a lot of women who got shitty Valentines.
Yeah.
Who are really driving this. I heard one comment was like, he's 41 years old, mind you. And I wanted to be like, this is a long time ago.
We were late 30s at that point.
I still got a card I haven't written for my wife. And not only was it Valentine's, it was her 30th birthday. I killed it. I gave her a great fucking weekend. It was awesome. And that has
Put a lot of effort into it.
That has nothing to do with the fact that I have an assistant now that I can outsource the effort to. But that's what I would
She didn't think it was
definitely
weird that your
suggest.
handwriting was so nice all of a
Bro,
sudden?
she kept being like, who are these flowers from? Testing me? I was like, me? I just say me no matter what is in the house. I did that. I got
Who
that.
shit on the floor? Me?
That was me. Definitely wasn't Kiana. We hope. Okay? That's actually my suggestion, first of all. Get an assistant. Because all the thoughtful ideas that come to your head, but you're like, but then I got to do it, you can outsource to them.
Dude, I saw you walking out of the studio one day.
Yeah.
Your sister was like, hey, here's a birthday gift for your friend. And you were like, really? What is this? And she was like, they're the paddle shoes you mentioned. And I was like, oh, that's why you get it.
Yo, stop snitching, man. Jason.
I know that.
Jason, that came from me. Okay? That
I
came
said
from my
your
heart,
friend.
Jason.
Yeah, who knows what
Yeah, but there's only one guy who played paddle with us listening to the podcast.
Guys don't care about effort.
That touched his soul, bro. When I showed him them shoes, he was like shaking as he opened it. Because I thought he was going to be like vibrators and dildos inside or something like that. But it was a real pair of paddle shoes. Anyway, I think it's worth to have this discussion. It seems as if, you know, women feel like we're not putting in the effort that we should be putting in.
Yeah. Yeah, I even saw a random TikTok recently after this conversation. We were talking about it, and some girl was like, I can't even go on a date with a guy if he's not going to put in a reservation at a restaurant.
Yes.
She said that's a red flag. If you're not going to make a reservation, we're not going on a date.
So this is interesting. You brought this up yesterday when we were discussing it. There are these things that have become very popular for women to talk about. Red flags. You said the ick.
Yeah.
And all these things, I think, are really downstream from women wanting guys to put in effort. Right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. And we do need to bring in the girls for this, so maybe grab them. But this is a kind of true thing. Women's greatest fear, I believe, is being alone. Men's greatest fear is being with a woman we don't want to be with.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, you can couch the women one.
What do you mean?
I think they're also a little afraid of like getting murdered and stuff.
No, I'm talking about like a relationship, emotional kind of fear. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're speaking
Which on relationships.
great exaggeration.
And I still think alone trumps.
Yeah, they would rather be alone because when they're alone, they dead end.
Hey, remember the hypothetical that women were like, would you rather be alone with a bear or a man? That everybody chose bear. I bet if you said bear or alone, they'd be like, give me the bear again.
I'll take my chance. Okay, guys, so now there's a microphone right there that I need you all to...
We're turning to a Red Pill podcast. Let's go.
Yes.
We're checking you out of the studio in 30 seconds.
Yo, imagine the second they started talking, all of us just walked a single file out of the podcast.
Tanya can't even... we got that on camera, right?
Hope we got that on camera.
Okay, what is Tanya trying
Somehow it turned into a hose, and she was like, whoa, I can't even...
we try. Okay, so yesterday at some point, I think that Mark was being very diplomatic, but there is no room for diplomacy in this conversation. At some point during our conversation yesterday, during our production call, you guys voiced this feeling that like a woman's greatest fear is being alone. You fear being alone more than being with a guy you don't like.
Some women, yes.
Okay, this is another
And
thing.
they might not
Tanya's
know
a fucking guy,
That's
and
what I'm
all
saying.
of
You
her
don't count.
opinions are going to reflect exactly how we feel.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I think why when we first met her, we were like, this chick's fucking
Yo, this
awesome.
girl's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it also depends on age.
Point the mic towards you. We need Dove in
is
here
so
or
funny
something.
to-
Dove, get Dove in here so we can sit next to them and manage the women.
Yeah, we need the 4 women in here.
I think it depends on, first of all, age and where you live. I think that's like a big thing.
Okay.
Like if you're like when I was like a 25-year-old living in Montreal and everyone was coupled up, then it feels like, oh, it sucks to be alone because you no longer have fun things to do with your friends when everyone's coupled up and getting married and buying houses.
And you're just
shit.
lonely and dying. And
Yeah, and also everyone's like pressure. It's like societally, like that is an age in Montreal where like you have to be settling down.
Okay.
If you're 25 in New York,
Would you rather be with a guy you don't like or not? I don't want to ask this question.
don't ask me that question. You don't mind.
Yeah. Because you don't even.
ask a real girl.
Tanya doesn't even want to be with guys that she likes. We were having a discussion yesterday, and Tanya was like, "I'll be honest, these guys are so fucking annoying. They just want to spend time with me."
Yeah.
And Alex was talking about, which I think might be a common theme here that I didn't
Female
even
Alex,
realize.
right?
Female Alex. This
Girl
is not
Alex.
male Alex. We have a female, one ex Alex here, and she brought this feeling about like girls would rather be with somebody than be by themselves.
Yeah, but I think it's also pretty.
Can you point the mic up a little bit just toward your.
Oh
there you
yes,
go.
sorry.
There you go, you
the
got
lady
it.
mic that needs
Dove's gonna
to be
get in
shared.
here. Dove's gonna get in here.
Yeah, I think it's like subconscious that you don't realize that you hate him. You're just like, oh yeah, guys don't know how to plan dinner reservations.
So
But
this
you
is,
you resent him so much, and you don't even know why.
Okay, so we're gonna get to a good thing. This is good, and it's gonna hurt a lot of our feelings because we're gonna start to realize that our significant
That's what
others
I'm
hate
here
us.
for.
But this is an important thing. This is
might
an
be the
important
worst,
thing. No, because I feel this all the time. Like, does my wife hate me? Like, and it's like, yeah. No, but here's the thing. But it's not my fault. They don't want to be alone so bad that they will be with guys that they don't like.
Yeah.
They don't even like us. They just hate being alone, and now they resent us because they don't want to be alone.
It's their fault.
It's their fault.
Yes! This is the eureka moment yesterday.
No, I think
I was miserable because of you. We've been telling you this whole time. We're like, we're good people. We're trying to make you happy.
Yeah, I
we
couldn't
let you
figure out
read.
why Andrew was so excited about
I know.
talking about it.
It's like, I finally get it. I get it
Truly,
now.
like, this guy's really excited.
Yes.
What's going on?
I saw the light yesterday. I was like,
you could finally blame them.
No, exactly, right? Because this whole time now I was thinking my wife hates me, and she's like, I love you more than anything. No, she hates being alone.
Yes, toxic femininity.
Yes, now we're talking about it. Finally, we have women here
just
to be the
resent how
faces.
stupid you
Here
are.
we go.
yeah.
Stupid and lazy. is what we
Okay,
resent.
so, but here's the question.
And the messaging, I feel like from like society and the moms out there, especially Jewish moms, I think religion is a huge part of
Oh,
this.
you're Jewish also?
Yes.
Yuck.
True that. So
By the way, we didn't know how we hired her until afterwards. She did speak that in.
I just want to point
to somebody's face is great.
I just want to point out, this is so funny. We need to get Dove in here real quick. So yeah, Tanya, Alex, and Kiana, okay?
Yeah.
Kiana is my assistant, and she was here like 2 days, right? And we were staying super late. We're working on something. And she started bringing up this idea of like, she's like, yeah, but you're spending all this money on Ubers, and there's a certain situation where you could potentially get a car. And you could, have a driver for the car, and that driver would be available to you whenever you want, but it'd actually be less than all these Ubers. You should run that numbers. And we're talking, and then Dove just like stops, and he gazes at her, right? And Kiana is Chinese and Belizean, right? And he gazes at her, and he goes, "Are you Jewish?"
He almost got his black Jew.
It was the greatest compliment he could bestow on anybody. Anyway, okay, so Jewish moms really want you to get married
they really want you to get married
because they want you to be miserable like them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And
they want to pass it
messaging-
down.
Like women didn't just invent this of like, oh, I don't need to be alone. It's the messaging of like, oh, well, all men are terrible. No man knows how to make a dinner reservation or write you a note or send you a playlist that, they had thought of. So it's just like, okay, well, then you might as well just pick one. You're going to hate them anyway.
So the expectation is that we all suck, right? You're going to hate us anyway.
That's
And then-
solid for us.
Yeah, but when we live up to that expectation, you guys are still upset about it.
Sometimes.
I just want to point that thing about the playlist, which is very true. We don't do that. But today, I just want to point this out. We don't make playlists that you would like. But today, Mark had a playlist ready on the computer. White songs that black people like, just for Alex.
Mine teed it up.
We're very thoughtful for one another.
The effort you made today was phenomenal.
Come on, bro. Interracial effort is my big thing, okay? Not intergender. I don't believe in that.
That was a great display of romance.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had no fucking clue that a playlist was thoughtful.
Y'all like
And
playlists?
I think I do a lot of thoughtful
Women
things. That didn't even
love
cross my mind.
No, here's the thing.
Anything that seems like you're paying attention.
Yes.
But here's the thing. We just pay. And, and that's your guys' fault.
We want you to pay.
Exactly.
Well, that if
Pick one.
well,
Yeah,
here's the
talking
thing.
to my dad, I'll be shy.
If paying didn't matter, I really believe if paying didn't matter to you guys at all, then we would have to go the extra mile to elicit that same reaction. But unfortunately,
that.
paying for things works.
No, but hold on. The paying is like a generosity thing, and I think biologically we haven't evolved over time. We still want to make sure.
Yo, Tanya's spitting.
That's facts.
We're less evolved.
We still want you to pay for shit because we want to know you're generous. And when you expect us to have kids and tell us we
Killing the
can't,
mic like a
we can't
rapper.
work anymore. Okay, but wait, think about it like this.
Yeah. Let's think about it.
Eventually, your guys are going to want us to have kids, right? Eventually, you're going to want us to have kids.
This is why
We wanna
women
know
got the
that
right to
we
vote,
can't
because there
work
was
anymore.
one Tanya woman out there that was like spitting to all the politicians. They're like, I think that they could do it. I think, yeah. All right,
And
come
then
on.
think about women like Akaash's wife,
Yeah.
who are constantly on TikTok.
Oh, this is another thing. If we make Akaash's wife, we were talking about this. So this is my goal now in life. I didn't know that Akaash's wife
Oh,
was
it's
like
fire.
a serious influencer.
Yeah,
she's like a
actually very
big fucking
funny,
deal.
yeah.
Okay.
I watch hours of her TikTok.
So here's the thing. I didn't know this. Now that I know that she is like an influencer
You know
on
what hurt
TikTok.
my feelings? I've literally sent a video. Remember she made it on Fox News? I
don't
sent it to the
watch that
Flagrant
shit.
group. And you didn't pay attention.
That's when I
You
discovered
paid no
her.
attention, and that hurt my feelings. that really hurt me. This guy's thoughtless.
You know what hurt me?
I resent him.
You know what hurt me?
I resent him.
When you send me a video of your wife. That's what hurt me. When you know that I have other shit to do and you're like, watch my wife talk about this shit. That was the insulting thing to me.
I hate you.
Okay,
I hate you.
and you know what I'm going to do with that hate? I'm going to make sure, and listen, I say this to all the Flagrant listeners out there, the Flagrant viewers, please, I beg of you, we need to make, what is her TikTok?
Just lean with it. JASLEEN.
Just lean with it. We
Just
need to
lean
make,
with it.
just lean with it, rock with it. We need to
That's
make her
fine.
the biggest fucking TikTok superstar on the
love
planet.
this.
Okay?
You guys saw this one, her imitating me, right?
My mom has the biggest titties. Bitch. All right, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Sit the fuck down, bitch.
This is actually good, dude.
Make fun of other Indians. Are you Gujarati? You cheap little bitch. Are you Punjabi? You dumb fucking bitch. Are you Malu? You dark bitch.
It's me. It's me.
I'm just like saying what he would say. I don't say that. Oh, look at me. I'm Akaash. I can't sleep. I'm so tired.
That's good.
Yeah, we got to, hey, just lean with it. We need to make that the biggest TikTok account in the world. I just want to see.
I love that.
If you thought you weren't sleeping now, wait till your wife is making more money. Guys, you should already know this, but if you do not, March 4th on Netflix, my new special Life is coming out. I'm very excited for you all to see it. It's the thing I'm most proud of ever creating in my entire life. Thank you to every single one of you that came out to see the shows on the tour. If you were able to see those shows, watch that shit anyway. And if you weren't, here's the opportunity for you to see what that hour is like. Again, thank you guys all so much. Spread the word. We're running it up. We're watching it as a family. Go to Netflix right now. Hit that remind me button. That's helpful. Apparently, it, tells the algorithm that people are interested and it sends it to more people. So that'd be very helpful. But thank you guys so much for all the support and making this a possibility. So Life is coming out on Netflix March 4th. We are watching as a family. Let's get back to the show.
We also got to do dates. We added a 6th show in Brea. Tickets are almost gone. They might be gone by the time you get this. We'll try to add a 7th, but there is no real estate, so get tickets to this one. Also, Zany's in Nashville, February 27th through March 1st. March 14th and 15th, I completely forgot I got shows in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so buy tickets to that. 21st and 22nd, Omaha, a bunch of other dates, AkaashSing.com. We're going to add more April dates soon. Oh, also, hurry up and buy April 11th through 13th, I believe. Maybe 10th through 12th, but I'm pretty sure 11th through 13th in Tampa. All the dates got canceled when I had the flu. Those tickets are almost gone, so get your tickets for that. AkashSing.com. Now let's get back to the show.
What's up, guys? We're going to take a break really quick. World's fastest ad read, all right? February 25th, New York City. I'm at Mary Lou doing my own show with a bunch of my friends. And then the 27th, I'm in Baltimore. Belmore, New York.
It's already taking a while.
No, I'm trying to go fast. March 1st. And then Rochester, New York, March 26th.
Where do they find these dates, Mark?
Portland, Maine,
Mark,
April
you got a
27th.
website. Give them the
TheMarkYagnon.com. I have a real website. No, please don't stop it. Multiple people have done try to do that after the shows. I'm married and I don't want this sexual interaction, so please don't do that. But please come to the shows. Come see me. Smell me in real life. I promise. It's pretty good, all right? I'll see you guys there. TheMarkYagnon.com. Bye.
Find out what his dick smells like.
Not good.
Okay, so you need more effort from us, ladies. And so what we're seeing right now is the complaints of a lack of effort. And that kind of like masqueraded as these other things like red flags and icks, et cetera. And that's what I think Mark was talking about. Where you don't really have red flags and icks. You just date guys you don't like because you don't want to be alone. And then you start describing the things you don't like about them.
Yeah,
It's not that easy.
But if you just don't date us.
Agreed.
Don't date us.
Yeah, say something, yo.
That's what they're
Mic to
doing.
Kiana. We haven't heard from Kiana's.
Well, like,
Minority
it depends on how much is going on, like, in your life. Like, sometimes you just don't want to spend any time with anyone. And sometimes you're really bored. So you're like, oh, he wasn't that bad.
See, that's...
Like,
standards, though.
But what's crazy
no,
is...
there are standards.
But
then it's like, you get fed up really quickly. So then you're like, it's not worth the time.
Alex, what do you think about this? What are your feelings about this? You're so quiet over there. What's going on in your head right now?
I wouldn't know. I make a lot of effort with my wife, so it's like it's one of those things where
You haven't even made
relate.
the effort to make her your wife. What are you talking about, my wife?
It's the
you don't
same
get to use
thing.
that
It's
word
the
until you
same thing.
sign the
It's the same
paperwork.
thing.
If you don't got paperwork, you don't get to call her wife.
Okay, fiance, fine.
Fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean barely? Wait, what do you mean barely?
I don't know.
She got a ring. She got a ring.
I don't even like that word. Like, what does that mean?
Nah,
Yeah.
I put
Fiance
it on.
is
And once
nah.
you put it online, that's that's official. That's official.
You don't even show her feet, bro.
Yo.
No, I'm saying with all due respect. With all due respect. With all due respect. You don't even put the dogs on there.
That's crazy.
I'm only looking at Alex's mom's feet. All due respect.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine treating your mom worse than your fiance, bro. Or better.
Or better. Or better.
Hey,
Or better.
welcome to being married.
Yo, that's true. They get along now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
how you know
they've
you're
always
not
been
married.
They've always gotten along.
Yeah.
they've
Once
always-
you get married, that shit gonna switch up immediately. They still playing. They're playing nice with each other.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's not fun to look forward to at all.
No. The second
No,
you
but
get
I had
married-
to create a game to show effort. So
Okay.
Me and my fiance do Christmas every month. So
Okay.
on the 25th of every month, we give each other a gift. So we have to listen to one another throughout the month and see if you pick up on something that person
is
needs.
a lot, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
That is a
You
lot.
got to
That is a
gamify
lot,
it.
Listen. What
gotta
he's
gamify
done
it.
is brilliantly framed. You framed.
Now you're going to make
No.
shit on
I'm
it.
not gonna shit on it.
Do
I'm not gonna shit on it. But what
He's gonna shit on it.
He's
I'm
going
gonna
to shit
say-
on it.
But this is genius. This is why you're really smart. Because you framed as this exciting thing for her, and now she gets the effort that you want. But what you really did is create a device where anytime she wants to buy anything, you go, but it's not the 25th of the month yet. So why would you get that?
No, because
No.
he can still buy it, but he got to listen. It's still his responsibility to get a gift that she didn't buy herself.
Yes.
So he got to actually listen. Buddy, you dug yourself into a fucking hole. It's already too many days to give a fuck. Valentine's, birthdays, Christmas, India. I got Diwali. I got a fucking, oh my
Yeah.
God.
A funeral
We
here and
added that
there.
into the mix.
But some of us like hearing from our partners. It's
Is
not
that your
a
love
hard
language,
thing.
quality time? Because that shit, I did the test. That's my least important. With any human being. Y'all
What's
get the
your
fuck
most?
out my face. Tell me you love me.
Time is my
Let's hug.
most.
Yo, that's a lie, bro. We used to spend so much time together.
No, yeah,
We live together. We go out to eat until 3 a.m. every single night. You love quality time.
Yeah, I was lonely. I'd rather be with
You didn't actually like hanging out. You just didn't want to be alone.
dude.
Yeah.
You don't watch the TikToks of my wife? This guy's thoughtless.
Just didn't want to be alone. That's
Bro,
all.
I didn't know they were that funny, man. I'll be honest. I will subscribe. I just got TikTok back on my phone
Oh, yeah.
because I had a new phone. You didn't get TikTok until like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm locked in.
Oh, can I ask you a question about the rather be with somebody even if they suck? Do you think it's rooted in biology, in the biological clock?
No. Yes and no. Wait, hold on. I think yes, because it depends on
let's
how
let
old
Tanya
you
answer
are.
because her clock is on. Yeah.
Yeah. I only got a few months.
I was looking like Beauty and the Beast.
No joke. Two of my best male friends have been coercing me to go get my eggs frozen. My male friends.
Yeah, you
Anyways.
should.
But this is a hustle too. We were talking about this.
Yeah. But also, I think it is rooted in that. But I also think it's like if you're in your 30s, or mid 30s especially, and you've been with the guy for like a year, and you're like, fuck, I only have a couple more years left.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then it's true. It is rooted in that. And then there's also intertwined like all the other attachment stuff.
What's our maternity leave policy?
Yeah, I don't think you got one.
You know what's funny is
Start
that
one.
freezing your eggs is probably cheaper than maternity leave.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's why the businesses do
They
it.
do it that way, 100%.
So oh God, that's the
That's
worst.
100% why the tech companies all do that.
That's the
They
worst
want you
type of
staying to work.
sexism when it's framed as
Progressive.
Progressive.
It's the same as PTO, by the way. Why do you think companies
same
give
as what?
PTO?
I don't know what that is. Don't even explain it. I don't want to know if there's
Yeah.
something we should be giving. What is PTO?
There's no
Paid
time off.
I don't even
Unlimited
understand
PTO.
that intellectually. It's got
a tax
time
benefit.
off in the fucking acronym or whatever that is.
Basically, tech companies give unlimited PTO.
So how do you have a business?
Because the whole point is when you give someone
Speaking of the mic, for fuck's sake.
when you give someone 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then they don't take it,
Yeah.
you have to pay them out for it. When it's unlimited, and most people in tech companies they won't even take their PTO.
Love that.
They
but
feel
then-
shame.
Yeah,
They feel
exactly.
judgment.
It's like especially in America, it's like you're always working. Even if you're traveling, you're answering emails.
Yeah.
But then the companies don't have to pay them out. So it's like they do it for like a tax purposes.
Oh, you're saying if they don't take the 2 weeks off, they have to pay them for the time they work. So they
Exactly.
do unlimited paid time
Exactly.
off.
You
So
only
they
take
never
3 days.
So it's the same
Yeah.
thing
This
with the
is
freezing your
genius.
eggs bullshit.
Yeah. We will chip in a freezer eggs though, right?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, actually,
Would you?
100%. Yeah.
A jar in the office.
No, I would freeze it. I could work out a freezing situation. No, absolutely. I will definitely pay anybody here that
We got
wants to freeze
witnesses,
their eggs.
everybody. I hope Zach, you're listening.
No, 100% I will. Well, no, Zach is gainfully employed.
But you just offered.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Is
good.
there a plan
Can we
B
put them
fund?
in the studio though? Is that allowed?
Oh, can we store them? Can
Yeah.
we be the one that store them?
Tanya's frozen eggs like an aggro crag, just like in the corner.
Before we forget, you had a great point on the call yesterday. This is why Taylor Swift women fucking love.
Oh,
because she
yeah.
seemingly doesn't put up with the shitty guy. She'll break up with you, she'll write a song, make all the money, but speak to you guys and your frustrations.
Because she's more comfortable being lonely, I guess, or the perception is she is.
Because she's financially independent, there is an incentive to date the guy who can, maybe he's not the most thoughtful, but he can pay for a meal because maybe I can get out of this girl boss rat race. Like, that would be great. And Taylor can leave the guy because
What's the
she's
girl
not in it.
boss rat race?
Well, just
because I
like-
feel like girls are leaving this shit. The girl boss thing was hot 5 years ago, and I feel like that thing is dying.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a lie that was sold to us.
Shift in social media. It's like the whole trad wife.
Yeah, trad wife.
Like super like into like raising your children, cooking for them.
Yeah,
God forbid.
Homestead,
Love
get
that.
some chickens,
forbid. Love
raw
that.
milk.
Everything from scratch. Everything's shifting.
Yeah, why do you guys think that is?
Trump.
The boy.
Oh, wait. Y'all are blaming your own shift in mindset on Trump?
I'm not. I think it was a lie because it was like,
Into the mic.
you're.
You know we have more of these, but it's really fun that they are all sharing.
We don't have to share.
Go on.
It's like we were told that you could like girl boss and not have to like, be the Mad Men wife at home. But all of a sudden now we have to do both. No one's planning your dinner reservations or taking care of you.
So this is interesting.
Also, girls don't date down.
Well, I want to
That's a problem.
get to that in a second. But this is interesting about the girl boss idea. So maybe there's a little part of them they're going, okay, if I go to work, I make that money.
Yeah,
Now
then you
this-
don't have to be with the loser.
Yeah, well, no, you don't have to be the loser for sure, but then you assume that the guy would also pick up some of the slack,
Oh yeah.
right? And then you found out that we won't,
Right.
and now you're like, why am I working?
Yeah, like I'll do all the thoughtful shit. I don't need,
But you're not going to work as well.
Yeah, I don't want to work as well.
Yeah.
Give me home or give me office. I don't want to do both. And I think now people are having to do both.
Didn't we decide this like a million years ago or something like that? Like,
Full circle.
Full circle, yeah.
To that
So
point,
biologically, we haven't changed.
but to that point, would you rather work, you got a guy maybe makes maybe a lot less money than you, but does all the thoughtful shit, or you do the thoughtful shit and they work. Which would you rather?
They do the thoughtful shit and they work. I mean, I'm
Flip right there.
No, that's the truth.
That's the truth. That's the real truth. Yeah.
It depends how good their job is, honestly. Like, I think if they're like really high up, then like, great, I'll do the thoughtful shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most people probably want to like be in love and have someone do the thoughtful stuff.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So if the guy has like a really important job where it's very time consuming, you'll do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'll do all the home stuff. If you're
just gonna let
saying
you know right now,
everything's paid for.
You're saying that
I would
until you guys get comfortable, and then that shit goes out the
I'll
fucking
tell you right
window.
now, I don't want that.
No, we know. we know that. We know.
Why do we even call Tanya? Tanya, you should be sitting on this side.
Seriously, call David or replace Tanya, and you'll get better answers.
No, I think that everybody, you start to get comfortable, and
Yeah, but the money comes with control also, which is the part that I don't like.
Yeah, that is bad.
If they have,
how do we have control?
if you're paying for everything, paying for the house,
We're married. There's no prenup.
until you start cheating, and then there's a divorce, and then the woman's stuck with nothing, and they have to rely. Well, that's how you signed a prenup.
I didn't have a prenup.
Not you specifically. I'm talking about the world.
You're
in
saying what I
general.
should have done.
You should have.
Yeah.
And then, because I mean, this was my biggest resentment in Montreal of girls my generation.
Yo, Tanya getting it off her
I know.
Yeah, she needed this. She needed
This is
this.
therapy. This is therapy.
talk.
It's like our mothers all went through the same thing. They didn't work. The second they started a family, they didn't work. The husbands made all the money. The husbands are going off on business trips. They're fucking around. They're cheating. Women want to get divorced. And then the women are stuck with nothing. And they still, even after divorced, have to rely on the husband to provide whatever they choose as like alimony, right?
So,
And to be fair, I've heard this
But they're
saying that makes a
still
lot of
stuck.
sense.
That
The
sucks.
courts are not in the collections business, so even if they award you half, the husband
But
could
then you
just
still
not
have to
pay.
go
There's not
through-
really much you
you
could
still
do,
have to pay for your
which I
legal-
think is fair to bring up. There's no like the court's not going to come after you. They not really.
was that true?
No, they do a little bit.
If you have a
They
child,
can
Mike.
and that's why you want to have a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between
Don't end bullshit.
That's why you gotta have a kid. Apparently.
Talking from the hip,
She's
Jewish. Hold on. So if you trap them, if you baby trap them, gotta go. Gotta go. You gotta let.
You're both doing a
You
good job.
gotta let women talk. Stop silencing them.
Is I'm the only one of color on this side.
Yes.
Not on this side.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, go.
gonna say is-
Well, Tanya's something.
Well, like,
Yeah.
Tanya's from Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's part African.
Lord, like kids who have divorced parents, like my best friend, her mom got alimony and got child support. The courts will go after the dad if they don't pay.
Yeah.
If you have a child, and they'll take away your passport so you can't travel.
What do you guys think of alimony as a concept?
Fantastic.
That shit is a criminal enterprise.
I don't love it. I don't mind you get half.
I do. Wait, listen to this argument against
Half,
that.
sure, but alimony?
It depends who
Oh,
files
but
for divorce.
isn't that what alimony essentially is?
No.
Matters who files for
Half is what we got now.
One at a time. One at a time. Go.
You take half of what we got now in a divorce, especially if we got kids. Yeah, absolutely. Child support, even if we got kids, okay.
Of course.
Alimony.
You need to do that.
That's your fault.
What happened?
No, but hold on. Andrew, wait, this is a good question for Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're successful.
It's a dangerous question for
You're
Andrew, but I think you
successful
meant
when
to
you
say.
met Emma. You made X amount.
Yep.
Right, and now you're significantly more successful than then.
Yeah.
And you have a baby, and you prefer that she stays at home with the baby because that's how you want
That's
your
an assumption.
No, that's what I'm saying. Assuming that that's what happens.
That's not true.
It's not true? Because a lot of fathers actually prefer that the mother raises the kid.
So it was I was very specific about this. Like with Emma, she got her MBA. She was, doing AI projects for Apple. Like she was killing it. And this was her choice. So I said, you have to want to do this.
Okay,
Like
fine.
it's not going to be my decision because if you don't like it, I don't want you to ever resent me for
Yeah,
it.
fair.
So this has to be your decision. If anytime you want to go back to work, obviously, like I grew up in a family where both parents work. Now, was I was I supportive of it? 1,000%. Like the person I trust more than anything in the world is going to be the one looking after my daughter. Like, yeah, that's the ideal scenario of the world. But I'm not going to like restrict her 100%.
Right, but hypothetically, there are
if there are guys that go, you can't work, I need you to be with the baby.
Sometimes they prefer it for family purposes.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you like actually do the math, it almost becomes more expensive to hire nannies and everything than the mother's salary at that moment in time. So she quits her job, she stays at home, and then let's say when she does, if she decides to go back to work eventually after you've had 3 kids, whatever, she's now 10 years behind in her career versus where she would have been. So then that's where the growth of when you got married versus where you are now comes into play, which is not fair to just get, let's say, half of like when you started.
So this is the way I look at these things. That's a good point. I think it's like a great, like more nuanced point. I think that there's a certain number where we don't need to worry about alimony. So let's say, for example, like you have $20 million between the two of you. You guys get divorced, 10 and 10. You'll figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
You don't need alimony as well.
100%.
But that's not how the law looks at it. The law looks at it, you split it 50-50, and you have to maintain her lifestyle. Whatever her lifestyle was with you, you have to maintain it.
Well, she's a bitch.
It's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's the law's fault, right? And these laws are kind of antiquated because they're built around a time where women weren't, girl bosses. They weren't making all this money, and they wanted to protect women because they literally couldn't get a job to support the family.
Also, most people don't have 20 mil when they get divorced.
Exactly. Right, so I'm just saying there needs to be like a little bit more nuance with it.
But usually the way the judge looks at it, I'm pretty sure, is to maintain the same lifestyle as when you were married. So it's like if you were buying your wife a Chanel every year,
you should have stayed married.
You shouldn't have bought her Chanel every year in the first place.
No. Like you should have. But this lifestyle with us being married, like for example, I got to maintain your lifestyle with us being married, but you don't got to come and cook me dinner every night. That's my own.
That's the Chris Rock joke. Pussy payments.
No, but I don't want pussy. I want dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like I want the clothes washed and folded. Like if I have to pay you to maintain your lifestyle, you should still do the things that maintain my lifestyle.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
You made a choice, or we made a choice when we got divorced. This lifestyle is fundamentally different because of just one of you. And I think if women understood where some of this like red pill movement is rooted in this, like this idea is crazy. Let's say Andrew's 20 million, and most guys who are complaining about this won't make that kind of money. But 20 million, whatever job losses you have, valid they may be, is more than offset by the 10 million you just got. If you can't make that work, that's on you.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's essentially the point. But I agree with you that in circumstances where people are both, like one person is a teacher, for example, and the other person is staying home with the kids. Like, obviously, you can't let that person go back to this career that they haven't done 10 years. They have no way of making money, and now the kids are going to also suffer. So I get that point as well. There just needs to be a little bit more nuance, and I think they just put like, what is it, the fucking Bill of Rights down. And
precedent was set, and now we can't break from precedent.
All of this nuance, wouldn't it be easier? Like, isn't there some motivation for like Andrew in that clip or everyone in the comments, like men trying to like process this effort thing? Like, wouldn't it be easier to just learn how to send a playlist or make a reservation? You can avoid all of this.
Here's the thing.
So easy. They're begging.
I'm going to be honest with you. And I spoke about this, I think, on the pod, right? It was like my wife's birthday. No, it was Christmas or something like that. One thing I got her for Christmas were these like Crocs that had these like little gibbets in them that like pertain to her life and like our daughter and everything like that. And she cared about that way more than anything expensive that I got her. And despite that clip coming out 6 years ago, it hit me. I was like, oh, maybe I should like look into what she's likes or whatever and like get things around that. And
yes,
now that makes sense. But I think Akaash, you pointed this out. It's easier. It's less work. It's like we're being lazy when we buy the expensive gift.
Yeah,
but you're basically paying for their lack of thoughtfulness.
Yeah,
but even this time around, same thing happened. I agree with you. The effort is there. My concern is, and I think like when a girl really does love somebody, hopefully my wife really loves me, it makes that much more of a difference. But I do feel like there are some relationships which girls are in where they're like, they don't really like the guy. They just don't want to be alone. And these thoughtful things that the guys are doing are just like, how do I say? They just like extend the unhappiness a little bit longer. Just like break up with that guy. It's not, you don't have an ick, you don't have a red flag, you don't like him.
I totally agree. I
valid.
think that's where you get to the point where she's been resenting this lack of effort thing. She's been begging for the effort. It's not clicking. And then even if he does do it, it's like, okay. Then she gets to a point where every word that comes out of her mouth is nagging.
Yes.
It's going to be just like miserable for both of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, just break
Everyone
up.
has to get out of that.
But that feeling of fear of being alone is like why.
But
I
here,
don't need
one second.
attachment
One
there.
second. This is the thing that's interesting. We're so used to the nagging. We think that's what you guys are.
And that's the problem.
But think about that. No, I'm not saying we're talking about our wives. Definitely not. No, but in
men in general.
past relationships. Oh, okay. But like you look at every TV show. No, you look at every TV show, right? It's like Al Bundy and his nagging wife. It's like the nagging wife in every
Yes.
single one, right? But what you're saying is that this is like a downriver problem from picking this guy because you don't want to be alone. I'm just putting the blame
Yes.
on you, which is unfair.
Yes.
But you understand what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
if in my experience, when a girl really likes a guy, nothing bothers her about that guy at all.
We're in 100% agreement.
Okay.
It's not that like women nag or that like, oh, I'm being a bitch. It's just like, oh, you two shouldn't be together.
Yeah, they're
That's
tolerating
it.
low standards across the board.
Yeah.
That like, oh, she nags, duh. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, he doesn't put in any effort, duh.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just
And they're
like,
both just
walk
accepting
away.
mediocrity.
Just take a year to be alone. Someone better might pop up. Someone might not. It's fine.
Yes.
You're fine.
That
So
shit's
you're-
still
is
gonna
it-
happen though. My wife's still gonna nag. I'm gonna still be thoughtless sometimes. You know what I mean? There's
But
a
you love each other and that's fine.
yeah.
Yo, but you know what is annoying? When you put some thought in and they still nag.
Yeah.
That shit makes you.
There needs to be a 1 week shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You start
1
listening-
week shut the fuck up.
Does that apply to
And
like
here's the
men
problem.
bitching?
Here, and this is here's what I'm gonna get in trouble for saying.
romantic.
There's a rate of inflation on
Get a
thoughtfulness.
TikTok ready. Get a
Get a TikTok ready. There is a rate of inflation on thoughtfulness. The amount of effort that is thoughtful, you get used to it as anybody would get used to anything. But that amount of effort increases. So sometimes it's like, all right, well, let me just pay the money because now thoughtful went from here to here.
I disagree. I don't think
That's
thoughtful
because
goes up.
nobody been thoughtful for you.
Damn, just started working here.
I disagree. But I think the only reason I know it is because I've been.
Damn, Akash, go. Can you tell us your
Akash.
feeling with respect?
You
Do we have an
can't hurt my
HR
feelings.
department? Where's Dove? Where's Dove?
No.
Duff.
I think like
Yes.
yeah, you
all
can
checked out with
scale
me,
it up.
right?
You can do something more thoughtful. You can plan something more thoughtful, but it doesn't always go up. Like
doesn't, yeah.
sneak in a sticky note on her desk that says "Have a great day." Like just little things that actually it ebbs and
Yeah.
flows. Don't just keep
Write
it
that
going
idea
up.
now. Go on.
Yes.
You need to learn my handwriting. That's what we need to. Dove! Yes, he's back.
No, a fire one is
Dove, go sit down.
put sticky notes all over the apartment,
Yeah.
and then she'll find 2 one day, and then she'll find 3 more the next day, and she thinks you're putting them down there all week.
Yeah.
But really, you just did it one time.
And then a week later, she's like, "Why do you leave so much garbage all over the place? Can you clean up a little bit?" Okay, Dove. I don't know if you've been listening to this conversation. Have you been listening from the outside?
A little bit. We have a special coming out too, so it's a lot of that.
a lot of effort from Dove. Thanks, Dove.
Appreciate that.
I kind of needed all three of them.
Dove and I do have like a marital relationship.
Oh God, yes, yeah.
You do bring this up. You really want me to notice the effort.
Yeah.
You do want me to notice the effort, and I just want to see the result. I want the
When mom
Gucci
and dad
bag.
fight
Ooh.
about the effort, oh God.
Okay, but I don't know why. Why did we want Dove in here? Oh no, yeah, Akaash
Because
was
you were worried that
insulting
Akaash
people.
hurt my feelings. And
Yeah.
When I said yuck and you didn't budge, I knew we were good. I knew we had that. We're good. Yeah, we're
So
good.
we're trying to get to the bottom of this stuff. We're trying to figure out love. We're trying to make sure that we enter these great, healthy relationships where both sides respect one another. Are you a thoughtful person when it comes to the women that you date?
Of course.
Because you're smiling at me. You can't do that.
Always.
You know how thoughtful Dove is when it comes to dates?
Oh no.
Dove would go on dates with girls because he is truly trying to find love. I give him this 1,000%. He's truly trying to find love. And I Dove is fighting 2 things. He's fighting thoughtfulness and he's also fighting ethnicity. And I remember like a week or 2 into living in New York, he would go, "Do you know how much taking a girl out on a date is?" He goes, "I'm spending $300, $350 a pop on dinner. These girls are drinking like fish. Like, what is wrong with this city?" Do you remember this experience, though?
That number is high. Shit.
And tell them what I told you to do last week.
Ratio. That's some of mine.
Damn.
What the fuck I'm talking about?
Cost per nut ratio.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Hold on, Kiana. What did you say?
Some of my guy friends like work in finance, and there was a joke because there's a roster and there's a lot of girls, and it's a cost per nut ratio. So if you were taking girls out on dates like 1 through 3, sometimes you're getting up there. Like it's almost like $700. So if the cost per nut ends up higher than $800, they would ghost them.
Really? Yeah. But that's because they don't really like them. They just want to have sex with them. Okay, so here's another tricky thing. And then I remember I was on Rogan once, and this clip that Joe and I were talking about ended up going like pretty viral. And there was this idea that a million guys have talked about. There's nothing novel about it, but this post-nut clarity. Do you guys remember that thing? Okay. And it's this unfortunate situation that you guys are in where it's like, the guy doesn't really know if he likes you until after you guys have slept together. And it's Tanya is a guy.
I know.
She really is a guy.
That's my nigga right there. That's a dead ass.
Don't you say it, Tanya. She can be walking around.
Okay, so are women aware of that or not?
Yeah. Women are aware of that.
Okay.
And I think that's
what is the conversation amongst yourselves about that?
It's unfortunate that women actually, like, once they sleep with you, like, will then become more attached, and the timelines are completely opposite.
So break that down.
Once you have sex, the man is like, okay, yeah, like, okay, maybe that was fine. Maybe I don't like her that much. Meanwhile, once she has sex with you, she has all these hormones where she's saying, oh my God, I love him. Oh my God, I need to be near him. Even though they're illogical, you're like fighting this like avalanche inside your body being like, I need to spend time with that person.
And pre-sex is different where the man is more invested and you're kind of like,
yeah. The timelines are completely opposite.
Men use love to get sex. Women use sex to get love. Oh, right. The other way.
Yeah.
No, I think women use sex to get love.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You got it right. You got it right. You got it.
So men use love to get sex, and this is the what is that? The Playboy method or something like that, where you're really nice to them in the beginning.
Oh, like love bombing.
The love bombing or something like that.
And I honestly don't think that you can look at that and say like, oh, it's purposeful love bombing or like purposefully.
No, I think it's quite genuine.
I think it's genuine. I think they genuinely believe, oh my gosh, I'm going to get to know her. I'm going to have sex with her. But then somehow, like chemically, once it happens, it's like, all right.
Well. And now we look like a fuckboy.
Yes.
When in reality, we never really liked that person as much as we truly thought we did.
Exactly. And then the women look like a psycho, but they're just kind of like, what's happening in my brain?
And our ego gets hit like crazy because we're like, yeah, she didn't really like me that much until I gave her that. She won't stop calling.
I think she's good at sex. I didn't understand this as a guy who was a virgin. Okay.
Yes. When we're not, it's just this, oh, how advantageous for us. A chemical gets released in your head after sex where you love us that much more, no matter how bad the sex is.
Oxytocin. Yeah, Billie Eilish has a song about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if it's bad sex?
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's
Hold on. So is there
Stop crying. My brother listens to this podcast.
All right. Sorry, Kiana's brother, we love you. So it is possible that sex can be so bad that you're like, I don't really want to, the oxytocin doesn't get released.
Yeah. I also think it's like not all women, not all men. Like it's just that is a thing that can happen.
We're speaking in generalizations.
Yeah, in generalizations.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes that can happen. And that's where the Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, like getting fixated on like, oh, like I love him. This like, I don't know, depressive drama.
Let's tie in the effort to the sex. What if when you have sex, there's no effort and it's all about him?
Define effort, because I feel like for us, just not coming fast is the most effort we can make. Like
you can tell if there's like
how much more effort can we put
I've been thinking of my dead grandma for 3 minutes. Like, come on, bro.
3 minutes.
No, effort in sex. I'm talking about no effort in sex.
Come on. She just died. We just got over this. Come on, bro.
Like, is he like, what's the foreplay like? Is he going down on you? Is he
thinking about all these things like after?
If you're on a date with a guy,
you expect a guy to go down you the first night, like with no showering or anything?
There's still foreplay. okay? You have to go all the way down, but there's
We go out partying, we're dancing, you're wearing like tights.
Use your fingers.
Yeah, for what?
Ew.
I used my fingers. You didn't see at dinner at the end when I went in and I took
fingered your wallet.
No. Okay, yeah. So an attention to satisfying you, not just being satisfied.
Because once you guys come, game over.
Yo, facts though.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
We have to come first, and that's effort.
Yes.
And then I'll get that thing that you just talked about.
Yeah.
What
100%.
is that? What is
the thing in the brain that
Oxytocin.
that weird thing I be having in these bitches.
She's in denial, bro.
The biology.
I'll say that if the sex is bad, you're written off. Goodbye. That is, I was assuming that was the case. Let me
throw out an outlier. Okay, this is a tricky one, but I have seen. Okay, I had a friend who hooked up with this girl. He was like, dude, I fucking couldn't get it up. That girl became obsessed with him.
Really?
Daddy issues.
My dad could never get it up, so reminds me a lot of him, to be honest.
Now, is there a part of that where it's like, they dated for years?
What?
And now this is what I chalked it up to. I chalked it up to her going, that made me feel really rejected. And I'm wondering from the female perspective, is there a part of it where it's like, I've never had a guy not get it up with me. I feel rejected. I feel ugly. I'm going to win him over. I'm going to prove to him that I can get him hard or whatever so that I like myself.
Maybe like a very young person might think that, but that seems pretty like immature. Like there really is no correlation between like how you look or your behavior to that.
Right.
Would you still write that guy off if you're saying there's no correlation between whatever?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, close to the mic like a fucking senator, dude.
It depends. Is this like a kind of guy, like, it's like you've been dating, everything was perfect, da-da-da.
Yeah. No, you guys are getting along, it's great.
You guys are getting along, and then one night you went out drinking till 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe did some other
whiskey
substances.
dick is different.
And then you have whiskey dick. That's forgivable.
So, and what happens in those moments? Does it Miles? I don't want to ask you guys, but like, do you just like bang it against it? Like,
I just
sponsored by Blue
you just
Chew.
muck barn for a whole year of your life.
No, but like when you actually try to have the sex, is it like have you ever seen like a baby elephant doesn't know that it can use it to get the water out of the watering hole, and they just kind of like slap it against the pond? Is that kind of what happens?
How do I laugh this off? Tell me.
Do you go to the bathroom and then try to get it up, or like what?
Am I winning yet, or like?
What's up, noodle dicks? You know what probably just happened? You disappointed your girl. If there's anything we learned, it's that you've disappointed your girl your entire relationship. And you're probably not that good at sex. You just trapped them emotionally, and that's why they're sticking around. You know what can fix that? Blue Chew. It's got the same active ingredients as some other medications, but it's the ones that rock with us from the beginning, so we rock with them. And you can get your first order for free. That's right, you can make life easier by getting harder and discovering your options at BlueChew.com. And because you are a listener of this podcast, you can try your first month of Blue Chew for free. All you gotta do is visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. It's important that you stay safe while you're improving your dick game. You gotta do both. But if you fuck her so hard that you die, you're a living legend. Well, you're not a living legend, but you will die a legend. So, either way, you're probably okay. But get your dick game up, step your emotional dick game up. These ladies deserve it. Let's get back to the show.
All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. Some of y'all need a new wallet. Stop playing around, okay? Stop playing around. You're going to go buy some, like, fancy wallet that you're going to get destroyed. Your jean color is going to get all over them. You're going to lose it. Now you're out fucking $1,000 or some stupid thing for some luxury brand. No. Stop. Full stop right here. You're getting the best wallet on the planet. You're getting an Extra. That's what you're going to do. Look at those cards popping out like that. Boom. Okay? You don't need one of the foldy wallets. We already know that. You're not really carrying cash. If you need some cash, obviously, they got this little thing right here. Bang, you throw the cash in, but nobody's carrying out cash anymore. You're Venmoing, you're paying with your card. It is what it is, okay? You need those cards accessible. Boom, pop right there. Also, if you lose your wallet and you don't have an Extra, you're fucked, okay? The good thing about Extra is you know where it is at all times. Somebody robs you of your wallet, you just follow that guy back to his house, steal everything that he has. Don't just take your wallet back. You can reverse rob him. That's probably illegal. That's probably a legal thing. You're going to get your wallet back, but there might be something else that you want. And you could probably legally take it. I would look into that. I don't think Extra is supporting this, but it is a possibility. It could happen in this world.
And Extra wallets are on Apple's Find My network. So no matter what platform you're on, you got it.
It's almost like you hand the thief the wallet and then they go, oh, no, please take that back. This is an Extra. You can come to my house and I don't want to deal with those problems. They don't want to deal with those problems. Extra has your back, okay? Point is right now, Extra's anniversary sale is here, and they're bringing the heat up to 30% off site-wide on all their sleek smart wallets. But here's the real kicker. You can get up to 40% off with the promo code FLAGRANT at checkout. That's 40% off an Extra wallet, the best wallet on the planet. All you got to do is head to partner.extra.com/flagrant. Okay, that's partner.extra.com/flagrant and treat yourself to the slickest, most functional wallet out there. Slim, secure, and on sale right now. Do not miss out. Go get yourself one. You are welcome. Let's get back to the show.
I had a buddy that would say this, and this was pure game. I know 100%, right? He would go, when he was talking to girls, he'd be like, yeah, girls never made me come from head. I just don't know what it is.
Oh my God, the amount of times people do that. that is like the oldest trick in the book.
Oh my God.
That is the oldest trick in the book. Let me try my arm. I'll go down there for 45 minutes. This is when bitches being fucking dumb. Do you remember that one? Yo!
This is awesome.
Oh my God.
See?
This is awesome.
Okay, so guys try that shit. They go like, oh, I could never.
Who knew listening to women could be fun?
Yeah, we've been fucking up for 10 years. Okay, so that's not a trick that guys should use. That like girls know about that trick already. Is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, like, that's just so...
If a girl ever said to us,
Is
they're
that
like,
or assume you're gay?
or you assume gay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But if a girl ever said to us, like, no guy's been able to, make me come from going down on me, I'd be like, yeah.
You should try something else. Save me some more. Write that off. Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that doesn't work. All right. This is good. This is good to know. Is there anything a guy that you really like can do that you're like immediately, no, I'm done?
Actual ick.
Yeah, like not like oh, he rubs his hair, or oh, he like puts his shoulders up in the rain.
Funny they may be. Yeah, I don't think there are a lot of them.
Sending food back at a restaurant.
Really?
Wow.
What if they actually fucked it up?
Being rude to wait staff.
Oh, I'm with that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm with
I can
that.
see that.
Okay.
I can see that. Tanya? Supporting pet.
I was literally gonna say
I
that.
knew you were. You Jewess.
Oh my God, dude.
I also feel like this is New York contingent. Like I feel like dating in New York, guys in New York just kind of suck. Like I hear my friends tell me stories about like dating guys in New York. It's just like no guy ever wants to settle down.
Your female friends.
Yeah. And like no guy
Do you
wants to
think
date.
dating in Milwaukee is going to be better?
Yes.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
There's,
know,
like,
but
studies about this shit.
this is my feeling is that like the more like small town like Christian vibes, the more guys are like, yeah, I'll get married and
You know,
But you have less options out there.
Are those
Exactly.
towns
That's
only
not
Christian?
good.
Where are we supposed to go?
yeah, Utah, Salt Lake
Go to
City.
Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying because the culture reinforces getting married and meeting someone that you want to be with.
Yeah.
Also, potentially the culture. I remember you saying, I don't know if it still applies, but when we first started hanging out, you were like, girls move to LA to get famous. They move to New York to live Sex in the City lives.
Yeah.
So to a guy, it's like, well, these girls are just trying to fuck anyway. So I'll find somebody else around the corner. Whereas in a place where it's like, now these girls are trying to settle down, you might have to be more on your P's and Q's.
So
It's
talking
also like analysis paralysis here. It's like
that's what I'm saying. Like
You
talking to
give up
some
easily.
of my guy friends here, they feel like dating is tricky because the girls are handling 5 or 6 guys and one guy could be better and what are my options? And,
same vice versa.
but I haven't heard you guys talk about that at all. Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't really know if I like this guy. And now if you have 5 guys that you don't really know if you like, you're probably looking at these like icks or red flags way more than if you had one guy in your hometown that you were really into.
Yeah, it has me using things to rule people out that like seem kind of cruel. I said this to a friend. I was like, oh yeah, well like he's sober in AA, so like he's done. And she was like, well, those people deserve love. I was like, not for me. Not for me.
He's trying to better his life. He's turning everything around.
Like it's just that doesn't fit into
I
my
get that.
lifestyle.
That's scary, dude, because one drink and then he's off the way and now you're in it. Like you're
It's
in
like,
it.
I
gotta be
don't
with
need
this
that. There's
motherfucker.
4 other dudes who want my time.
and they don't do it.
Which one is it actually?
It's all of the above.
Okay.
No,
All right.
but it's like you're looking for things to rule them out because there's like 7 other dudes on the silly little apps that want to take you to the next spot.
So that is the problem with the apps is there's constantly a new person.
Yeah.
And when you think like that, what is it? The grass is always greener.
Yeah.
And the first time you meet somebody, you look at all the opportunity that presents itself, right? It's like there's like hope in it. Like he could be perfect. Look
And
at all these
you also
things.
have way too much information. You have their like everything they believe in and their sense of humor and all these pictures and their religion and like it's like
How much are you Googling people when you meet them?
Zero.
Just an Instagram. Just like look at their Instagram. Just to see if you have mutuals.
So wait, you're looking at LinkedIn.
Notifies them.
That is true.
That's my biggest
Yo,
fear.
Tanya,
With a good LinkedIn where it doesn't.
hold on. Tanya said.
Tanya said Raya and LinkedIn Plus.
Look at their LinkedIn.
So funny, dude.
I mean, what's what you were saying earlier? Like,
We're just looking
I'm
for-
34 years old. I'm not dating a bartender.
God damn. God damn.
You don't know what you're doing.
man.
I'm checking their LinkedIn.
Yo, you
but
know
I
what's
don't
so funny? Dove is such a girl because the first thing he says when he meets a new girl, he's like, she's actually an engineer and she works for whatever. And I'm like, nobody asks what her fucking occupation is. Show us the video that doesn't have a filter so we can get like an accurate assessment.
Yeah, it's all visual. I knew a guy's girl was really hot when I said see a picture and he just handed me the phone and he didn't hand select a
self-select.
picture. Yeah.
That's low.
Okay, what do you guys feel about like how you look on Instagram versus reality? Like, do you feel when you go to a date, like everybody looks better on Instagram for sure, but now with all these filters and shit, is there ever a moment like where you only talk to this person online, he's only seen what you guys present online, and then in person, you're like, is he gonna think that I'm as attractive? Like, is there any of that insecurity that comes out?
There wasn't any until one time a guy showed up 100 pounds heavier.
Oh no, I'm talking about on you guys.
Oh.
Not the guys. Hold on. So guys are catfishing too?
Wait, I ran for the hills.
No.
He couldn't catch you.
He catch you, fat motherfucker.
I fucking laughed.
Okay.
I think I do hear from my guy friends of like, oh, she misrepresented herself. And I'm like, okay, that's a nice way to say that she wasn't as hot as the pictures.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
everyone's using
I agree.
4-year-olds pictures, but I also think for us looking at a guy's profile, if I'm going to show my friends, like they're all like the first thing is like, oh, well, they look better in person. Like men are given more permission to look shitty on Instagram because it's like, oh, like they don't take pics. Like,
What about this? A lot of guys, some of whom are on this podcast, will lie about their height. How does that make you feel?
that does not make me feel good as a 5'9" lady. Like I don't want you to come and be embarrassed. You know, I don't want to meet you at the restaurant and you be like, oh, I shouldn't have lied.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Do you pay for dinner if you're taller?
I walk away if I'm taller.
Wait, so the height is a huge thing. Like you cannot
The
date a
honesty,
guy.
I think, right? Or
Yeah,
is just the height?
honesty, but also like, yeah, maybe I could date a guy that's shorter, but it's like, if I'm looking for reasons to rule them out, that's a big one because I don't want them to resent me for being taller than them. Like, I don't want them to have any male ego about how they look.
You think a guy who's shorter would have a male ego about being with a taller girl? You wouldn't see him as like a badge of honor. He'd be like, oh my God, look at this.
Well, that's why girls call them short kings.
The ones who are not insecure about it.
Yeah.
Got it.
But like, if they're shorter than you and then they misrepresent themselves.
Mike.
If they're shorter than you and then they misrepresent themselves, why would you want to continue to date them?
That's how we feel if you're not as attractive. But for
That's
you, it's
fair.
height specifically, not just
It's like height and weight.
All right, fair.
Like,
So we're all just
girls are
lying
just
to
as
each other.
shallow, especially in New York. Like,
But I think the apps have like really increased the levels of shallow
God,
because
you
that's
found
the
your
only
life,
thing
though.
that we can judge on. Whereas back in the day, you'd meet someone at a bar, you knew kind of how tall they were immediately. You knew what they looked like pretty much.
yeah, you just hoped you weren't drunk enough. Like how
Yes.
drunk you were.
What if a guy has a picture with like 3 of his boys and he's the least attractive one in the group?
Oh my God, bad.
Always bad.
yeah. What are you doing? What an idiot.
Wait, why is that bad?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're going to the date and you're hoping, because, okay, with all these pictures, I'm looking at all these different profiles. I'm not quite grasping which one you are. I'm just hoping it's the guy on the left. I'm hoping you don't know.
There's no way you'll go on a date and you don't even know which
Yeah,
one of the 3
come on.
guys it is.
Oh, yeah, you will.
We have.
It happens.
She's casting a net,
usually
dude.
there's
Wide net.
one picture with a group and
It's
the
a numbers
rest
game
are
out
like
here,
solo, so you can figure out which one it is. Are you asking, are we going to date the ugliest guy in their group, or you're not sure who the guy is?
Yeah, would that be an issue if he was the ugliest guy in the group?
But what if he was
No, not at all.
It's not an issue. It's not an issue, but you're doing yourself a disservice posting,
Yeah, that's
putting
idiotic.
something on your profile where your boy looks hotter
But that's
than you.
your
Like,
boys.
don't do
Like,
that.
what does
I
it matter?
know.
We don't care about that.
No, you're out
Yeah,
here to
you do it
get
for girls.
ladies.
The
This is
ugliest
the
girl in
place
her
to get
group of
ladies.
We're
girlfriends.
supposed to what? Not have hot
she's
friends
out.
and
You're
only
not
have
even on a
ugly
date with
friends?
There was a girl.
What is the funny one? I'm waiting for the funny ugly one.
There was a girl.
99% of the time.
There's a lot of women that feel that way. Thank God.
Ty's about to get a lot of DMs.
Yeah.
Make your profile
I am
private.
so ugly. You have no idea. Girl.
I'm in a happy relationship. Don't DM me.
There was a girl in my sorority who lost a ton of weight, and she kept her profile photos of her 20 pounds heavier so that they would be like, oh my God, she's so hot when they met her in person.
How many people met her in person?
She's
A good amount.
Really?
I mean,
Hey,
it's the
fatties deserve love
reverse
too.
catfish.
No, I think that's a bad idea because you want to get as many, like you want to get the best
The
you
best,
can get.
yeah.
Now that you worked hard for this body, go get what you
Yeah,
want.
but then there's also something to that. Like, if your mentality is get the best, and you know you're getting DMs or you're connecting with all these people on these apps, your brain is always going to be looking for a little bit better thing instead of looking for the thing that you want. And that's going to make you
It's
alone.
mental illness. Yeah, this is not good.
Yes,
What's
okay.
happening is not a good thing.
That's important to say.
Yes, I'm just describing what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not a way to like meet your soulmate.
Right.
No,
so maybe girls should get off the apps.
Yeah.
Seems like it's just making life harder for you.
Maybe, but I still want to drive home the point of like the effort thing is not that hard.
But what if it's hard for us? Like, I don't know. What
wish
if it's
it
just
wasn't. I think that that's kind of like I'm like, why is it so? Like, why don't you feel like an intrinsic motivation to like surprise and delight the person that you're with?
It does feel really good.
yeah.
It does feel really good to
Doesn't it
do.
feel
I will
really
be
good?
honest. It feels really good. And then when you make them happy, there is like a feeling of euphoria that comes from it. But I will say it's not like the most natural instinct that we have. The more natural instinct is like, how do I provide? How do I make sure that we're safe? If somebody disrespects them, how do I make sure that like they don't know that I'm afraid to fight them? You know,
Buy a
like,
gun.
I mean, like, there's
Red
like,
state, dog.
Yeah.
We gotta move to red states. I need a gun.
Yeah.
No, in all honesty, though, I agree with what Andrew's saying. Like when I was like dating, I thought about like the primary values first, not like the stupid other shit. You know what I mean? Like,
what are your primary values that you're looking for?
well, yeah.
The trick is to be Jewish. Because that whittles it down.
That's a cheat code. That is a cheat
Honestly,
code.
it was like respect, generosity, like that need to like care for me and have a future, not fuck around, like all that other stuff was more important than like I don't give a fuck about flowers. I kill them in a day anyway. Like,
Yeah, I guess that'll
You know what I mean?
given to me. Like if you're in a relationship with
but to me, that is a lot of the effort. Is like those like primary things first, and then everything else is kind of like icing on the cake. Like if he doesn't send me a playlist or send me flowers, but like on a day-to-day basis, there's like respect. And also like little things, I think like effort, like for example, exactly when it's cold outside, he like walks Frankie. Cause like I
That's
don't want,
exactly what I'm talking about.
but that's effort. But that also comes down to like, oh, he takes care of me, which
Filling
is
up
like the
your water.
primary value.
Filling up your water. That's a big one.
Which one?
Filling up the girl's water. That's like
Metaphorical
if
water
you're
or
getting
like
off the
No.
couch
water?
to go to the kitchen, fill up both.
Fill up the water.
Little stuff like that.
men fill up the water. That's what.
I totally agree.
But like that's not the same as like making reservations and sending flowers and like surprising me with all these other
You know,
things.
it's kind of interesting.
I think walking your dog is like on that level.
But we've
But that
divided.
doesn't-
I
but
think
that
y'all are
requi-
getting neither
but that
as
doesn't
women in
require
general.
planning.
So you're like,
no, hold on. It doesn't
oh.
require planning. That's the difference.
No, we've devised this system where we did things that showcased effort. And I think we started to call it chivalry. And then it just became expected. And now it's no longer seen as effort because it is the expectation of our gender. And so now we're going outside of our gender expectation, i.e. writing a card, which is not natural to us, right? Fighting some guy in a bar is an extraordinary fucking effort, right? That we have to do that's expected of us. But I don't know if we get the same credit for doing it, because if you don't do it, you're a bitch. How could you not support your girl, whatever?
I gotta pretend I'm willing to fight. Even though we both know I'm not. It's a lie we both maintain. I like that.
But no, on some serious shit, I wonder if we've done a bad job of that. Like, we should have never coined it as chivalry. We should have never even spoken about it and just done it. And then when it happened to you guys, you'd be like, oh, that was so nice and thoughtful of them. But now all the things that are kind of like a little bit more natural, the things that we do, opening a door, obviously paying for dinner and doing these types of things, are the expectation.
But the problem
So now we got to
is
do girly shit so y'all know that we like you.
we're Gen
Buying
Z.
a card
or
is
I'm
not
Gen
in
Z.
our wheelhouse
Period.
at all.
Doesn't even.
Okay, we're Gen Z.
Yeah.
Chivalry and Gen Z is dead. They don't know how to open doors.
Is that, you think that's more of a New York thing? Because I grew up in the South. That's an expectation. Hold doors
the
open.
South. It's like different in New York.
Yeah.
Or, like,
I think what Andrew's saying about the like being willing to fight someone in a bar.
It's a stupid example, but you understand what I'm saying.
It's a fine point, but it's so rare.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that could happen once every 2 years.
A fight isn't a real thing, but it's more about like somebody being rude to you.
You want your man to protect you.
Yeah, it's just that's just so rare. So
Or
the
some
sticky
guy-
note gets you to the like
Some guy gawking at you on the street and then making him feel uncomfortable for doing that is not actually a fight, but it's this little example of, hey, I'm going to protect you.
Or just a crazy guy on the subway, and you're like, I
that's
don't
great.
like
That's
this guy.
awesome. Like keep doing that. Yeah. That's awesome.
But in he's
So
saying,
my
doesn't
point
that
is
count
it's
as effort?
expected. And you guys, maybe, I don't know, but maybe you don't see it as the same effort as like getting you a card. But in our minds, we're like, hey, this is me showing that you're really important to me. And there's this weird homeless guy we're walking down the street. I'm going to move you to this side just in case anything happens. And I wonder if you clock it the same way, like, oh, that was really thoughtful that he did that.
I think that that's not a given. I don't think all the guys out there are doing that. No one has moved me around from a creepy guy.
Shitty generation.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
literally only
You're
date.
5'9" though.
You can fight.
Yeah, you
You
might
can fight.
shield me.
I only date guys who are significantly older than me because men in our generation are the worst.
Oh, yes. This is interesting.
talking about
Speak on this. Yes. So you said that your generation is known for dating much older men.
Sorry, how can we ask how old you are? Is that
Like,
cool?
okay, I'm 22. Like, my last boyfriend was 31.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Like an old guy, 31.
That's my wife and me, and we both started dating. That's funny.
But you also said that as well. So, is that a thing that like your generation is known for? Do people talk about this, or is this kind of like an unsaid statistic?
I feel like a lot of my friends do. Like, I feel like it's like the norm.
I don't want to say that it's like, oh, like Gen Z, because it's like the biggest cliche in the book that like dudes in their 30s want to date 22-year-olds. Like that is how life kind of works. But I think it's happening for Gen Z because these guys, because no one's like moving me away from the creepy guy or like doing those things. Maybe a 35-year-old might know to do that. But
oh, wow.
Or like walking on the outside of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like when you're walking down the street, like they'll go on the out. Like that is just something that should naturally happen.
Yeah.
Like if you date someone who's like 23, just moved to New York, is like, oh my God, like this is the best. You're like playing tour guide and it's like miserable.
And their only socialization is fucking video games. Like their brains are like rotted.
Undeveloped. Yeah.
But do you think this is a problem of also how your generation kind of brought that on themselves with the whole like equality thing? It's like you want everything to be equal, and I'm like, okay, well,
Shit, yo.
If this was an audio only podcast, like revealing the video of her and it's just one of us in a wig.
We don't need to be here for this.
But it's like that is a thing that happened.
Wait, I need you.
That happened with the whole society being like, oh, men and women are exactly equal. Everything is the exact same. And you guys made it seem like it looks they're looking down upon you if they treat you a certain way. So then they just naturally stop doing things like that.
I think there was real quick.
No,
No.
sorry.
We're speaking
generational thing.
But I think there is a little bit of that. Like I've spoken to younger guys about this, and there was a little bit of a concern about doing some more chivalrous acts and it coming across as like almost condescending.
Exactly. It comes off condescending.
And so I think there was a hesitation because they're like, oh, I don't want them to think that like they're this helpless little girl that can't do anything. So they pulled back from maybe some of these efforts. Well, we'd call them chivalry, but like some of the effort the men did that actually did make you feel good. And now I don't want to say you're craving it, but it is comforting when you're dating the older guys and they do it. Maybe.
I have like I grew up here, so I have like really woke friends and like normal people friends. And no, I'm so serious. Like I have friends who like if the guy pays on the first date, like she's gonna insist, like she's gonna shove it down their throat, like I'm gonna split. Like no, we should split.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna do that because like
Because you're half Chinese. You're like, I understand. What the fuck
because
this
I work
is?
here. And I'm half Chinese. It's not in my culture.
Yeah.
I had a guy one time. He was like, you know, I think when you're in a relationship, you should split every single thing down the middle, even like a cup of coffee. And I looked at him and I go, that's not in my culture, unfortunately. It's like,
we drink tea. Okay, so is that possible though? Is it your generation, the guys are actually trying to do the thing that they think you want, which is to treat you as equals and to get rid of these like gender restrictions, but some of them actually make you feel good. Now you're dating these older guys just so you can get that nice, comforting feeling of effort and love.
I'm going to voice something that I do not think is a good thing, but I think is true, is that you get more permission to do those chivalrous things that maybe might come off as like creepy or too forward or like infantilizing you. You get more permission to do that the hotter you are.
What? That's crazy.
Okay.
I do feel that way. Like if a gross guy hits on you in the grocery store, it's like, get away from me, or you know, does a protective action. It's like, oh, I didn't fucking need that. But if it's like a 6'5", you know, could be the one, you're like, yeah, I do need help.
It feeds into like the fairy tales and all that shit.
Yeah, 100%. So I think, I don't know what the advice there is, but I do observe that happening.
I think the advice is there are no rules
when you're hot. Yeah.
That goes for women too.
That's the whole
Yeah.
Fair. Remember that thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Finance.
So here's a question about the chivalry thing, that it became kind of the expectation. It feels like with men, the expectation back in the day was, and this is where it was maybe smart on women's part, expectation was you cook, you clean, whatever. And now when a woman does those things, that's really thoughtful. And we ain't asking for, that's great. Y'all get the chivalry and you're asking for thoughtfulness. Whereas on the other end, if you're doing the things that were expected back then, you are like, that's thoughtful. So can you understand maybe our psychology of like, well, we're being chivalrous. Isn't that thoughtful? What is this extra shit?
That's an interesting point. Like maybe we digested it the same way. When a woman would cook, clean, and do all those things back in the day, the guy was like, well, yeah, I'm working. Like, what the hell are you going to do all day? You better do it. And you're like, hey, no, I'm making this house beautiful for you. And I made this meal beautiful. And I went to the market and I got all these, you know, fresh fruits. You get a delicious meal. And you're not even caring about it. And now it's almost reversed. Like
now you're like, how dare you expect that? So we don't. And when you do it, we're like, wow, that's so thoughtful.
that is still expected. That is still expected. Women are exhausted from working all day. And then, like, you know, when men get married to women, their quality of life improves. They remember to brush their teeth.
That's true.
You know, they are taken care of in a way that is just natural. If you're living in my house, I'm going to make sure the dishes are done. And like, you know, it's just like, I love you. It's a done deal. I think women are doing both the domestic and labor outside. And then men are considering chivalry as equal to like cooking a crazy Sunday night meal, like that took hours and shopping and effort. It's like, you need to do more if you're putting those as like the extracurriculars outside of working. The housework is way harder than like stepping to a guy at the bar, I think.
Pushback. It does seem like a lot more couples. There's eating out a lot more, Uber Eats a lot more, restaurants, date nights, cleaning ladies even. Yeah, so for y'all, it is completely natural to say, I'm working. I'm not trying to do all that. I think in healthier couples that I see, it's very much like, well, yeah, so we'll figure that out. You don't have to do that. That's not expected of you. Really but it's still us expected of men generally. The chivalry is expected, now go above and beyond. Whereas if you were working and cooking and cleaning, and a guy was complaining to his dude friends, he might just do it. But a lot of dude friends be like, shut the fuck up, dude. Your wife works, she cooks, she cleans. You're a fucking loser.
I think it's a cultural thing.
Sounds pretty good.
Like, think about the households where like Sunday dinners are really important. Like Spanish household, Italians, like I think where you were raised and like where you come from plays such a huge role into that.
Yeah, it curates the expectations you have for yourself.
Because like I feel like I love cooking. Like that's something like I enjoy. Like I don't mind cleaning the kitchen, but like you should be carrying the groceries and like I could go pick them up, I could do whatever. Like I'm gonna leave them at the bottom of the stairs. You should be carrying them up the stairs. Like those like little things.
So maybe the pendulum is swinging around a little bit and we have to just come to this, you know, kind of middle ground where you have to state clearly what your expectations are of us. What is the baseline?
Well, that's impossible.
Then that's your fault. We know what, because I think we know what our expectations are of you guys. We know what is the baseline and we know what makes us feel good when you go a little bit above the baseline.
And can you just tell me what the expectations are, just so I know? Because I don't quite know.
It's not the same.
Weigh the same. No, but you know, I think it's like hygiene. Obviously, in the
Like
initial
shaved? Is that the hygiene? Like, what is the list? I'm curious.
Yeah.
shower smell good.
Yeah,
you
maybe
know.
it's because I date Indian women, but like, come on, Jesus. You know what I mean? Shave.
Hairless.
You need to be
Got it.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about hygiene.
That shaving shit is.
Don't come
on.
with your feet.
That shaving shit is. Come on.
Okay.
Expected.
Yes, I think there are those like baseline, like, okay, just be hot expectations, right? Which sounds like, I guess it even sounds annoying describing it to you guys, but if I don't say it, then I'm not being honest, right? So I think that there is that like a care to look beautiful. I think that matters, right? And then just maintain it. It's not like saying you can't fucking like schlep around the sweats or whatever. That's fun too. But like, it is nice to know that that's something you guys value. 100%. I think like a curiosity and care about us. Maybe it's just because we're comedians, but that's important to me. Like me and my wife having conversation, her wanting to know what's going on in my life, like me taking interest in what's going on in hers, like those really caring and like supporting. The cooking and the cleaning stuff is extra. It's like an added bonus. But do you care about me? Do you care about what's going on in my life? And do you want to support me in achieving my dreams? That's like selfishly what I would say. And once you have a kid, everything's out the window and it's different stuff. But before that, it's this feeling of like, okay, you're going to be my partner. Do you really ride for me? Oh shit, you're really supportive. You see all these things going on. You know I'm having a hard time with this and you're trying to make it as easy as possible. That's huge.
That's exactly the clip. That's exactly what she wants too. And the sticky note is just like, or a playlist, like it's just a little action that shows, hey, I got you. Hey, I'm thinking about you.
It seems like not having those creates resentment, where I don't know if a woman didn't cook or clean, if we would resent her for it. I don't know if it would like, it would be this like uproar on a pod if that clip came out and we were describing that scenario.
But if you didn't have like clean socks and underwear, how would you feel?
But this is the thing where I'm just like, I can outsource that to somebody who could make your life easier. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just telling you like where our baselines are. And I feel like our baselines are a little off. And it seems like you guys need a little bit more thoughtfulness than we think you need.
Yes.
For you to not resent us, because we don't want to be resented.
Yes.
That's huge. Because in our minds, a lot of us, we feel like we're going above and beyond.
Yeah.
So when you get resentment and you think you're going above and beyond, it creates a real friction.
You start resenting.
Yeah. You're like, why do you resent me? Like, I do all this. Like, we think we're doing all this, where your baseline is actually higher than what we expect of ourselves.
I think that's
but
exactly
our baseline for you is lower
than what you think.
So you're doing things.
No, it's hard to keep your weight the same and stay shaved.
Listen.
All that stuff is hard.
Listen, because your baseline isn't based on us. Like you said earlier, it's based on your mom. So you're putting your mom shit on me. I'm not your mom. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care what your mom said. So I think we need to find that, like, I think we need to work on finding what that baseline is and work on, okay, wow, you went above and beyond and this was really extra. You might like fold all the socks and shit. I don't care if they're folded or not. I don't care if they're mixed. I don't care if they're inside out or not. But you might be looking at me like, none of your underwear is inside out.
I did all of this for you. Yeah.
I never looked at my underwear right side, left side. I don't.
Yeah.
I think the solution for this, nobody wants the resentment. And I think women are confused when they open their mouth and everything is nagging. I think it's a bad point to get to. I think women should be more comfortable being single and like not take out that mom or societal pressure on their partner.
You guys need to write it down. We need the expectations.
But it's also fair. Like when we
Mike.
When we move in together, we're expecting we're doing all the cleaning because we want it to be clean. Yeah. Not for them. And they don't give a fuck if it's clean.
And then you get upset at us.
Garbage in his bathroom until I moved in. He would use his washing machine as the hamper.
Yeah.
Like his socks would go from the thing into the drawer with not one thing folded.
And then you act like you're doing it for us.
For us. Because I'm doing it for myself, not for him. He doesn't give a fuck.
So
that cleaning thing is on me, not him.
Bro,
okay, because I want the house to be that way.
So nice, and she's like, "I didn't touch it today." I go, "Who cares?" Eventually compliment, but ahead of it. Just
that's good,
right?
Yeah.
But at least it wasn't around. Mark didn't have a toothbrush for 3 days.
2 days, okay. We were shooting a thing. I got one.
Son, that's
order, okay?
crazy.
That's
2 days.
That's fucking disgusting.
But I think this is a good place to get to. What are your expectations, the baseline expectations of us, right? So that we can understand. We might look at them and be like, yo, I can't do that consistently. It's just really not important to me. And I'll do it a little bit so you feel good, but know that it is not important to me. And the only reason I'm doing it so you feel good. that's different than you expect me to do it every single time, because there's going to be resentment because of that gap.
Yeah, the expectation of mind reading is hard.
But yeah, but like even mind reading, I feel like is part of all this. Like to get to the point where she's upset that you didn't read her mind, she was upset about 10 things before that.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah. So I just learned something.
She had no motherfucking idea. Yeah, you're so right.
I had no motherfucking idea.
You needed a man to explain it.
Yeah, finally I'm listening.
See, mansplaining works.
Finally, I'm listening.
We need to know what you guys baseline expect from us, and right now it's more than we thought that you do. And you need to know that what we baseline expect from you is less than what your mom says you should do.
Bare minimum.
For real.
It's so easy. Honestly, men are so easy.
Bare minimum.
Like
can you fucking talk in a goddamn
honestly, men are easy. It's like they want the most basic primal things in life.
Yes.
And it hasn't changed
Which are?
in thousands of years. They want you to look good, they want good sex, and they want to be fed, and they want fucking attention.
Yes, we do
They
love
want
that.
constant love and affection and attention, the way to listen. That's really it. Those little things on top are all extra that we think we have to do for them, but they don't really give a fuck about those little things.
None of that means anything.
It means nothing to them.
And peace at home.
They're simple. They're simple. Yeah, and peace and quiet.
Yeah. No, not you. No, general women. No, you're doing great. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Clip that.
Make that and we're stopping the pod. We're going to do an ad. Thank you so much, ladies. We appreciate you. Thank you. Delicious. Freedom. Freedom from exhaustion, freedom from tyranny, freedom from royalty, freedom from all these disgusting things that oppress us, exhaustion probably being the most. Black Rifle Coffee, founded by veterans, no big deal, not trying to brag. I'm just trying to say they're bringing freedom back into your cup, okay? Do you really want to drink the coffee from some monarch? Is that what you want? Do you want some king, queen, prince, princess finger wagging at you what you can or can't do? No. What you want is the beautiful freedom of Black Rifle Coffee, okay? The type of coffee you take a sip out of before you shoot a redcoat in the head. Obviously, we don't do that anymore, but if it was during the revolution, we would take a sip of coffee, not that tea we threw in the water, and it would be Black Rifle Coffee, and then we would shoot a redcoat in the head. Maybe we'd steal one of their cannonball firing machines called cannons. Okay, and we'd probably take, I don't know, maybe a couple 100 milligrams of caffeine from Black Rifle Coffee. We'd sit on top of that bitch while we shot cannons at whatever, line that they set up, maybe at their ships. I don't know exactly what it was. I mean, the majority of my historical knowledge comes from Hamilton. And I will spare you singing that beautiful play to tell you about Black Rifle Coffee, the most liberated coffee on the planet, okay? Coffee that supports freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want when I have a nice sip of Black Rifle Coffee. So let me tell you the groups of people that I feel very strongly about. White people, thank you, Black Rifle Coffee, for providing me the energy I need to completely revitalize our social security system. Yes, when I'm not doing this podcast, I might be one of the members of Doge, making sure that people who have been deceased for 300 years are not receiving benefits that we pay into with our taxes. Thank you, Black Rifle. Everybody's like, oh, it's AI that's going in and looking. No. It's 300 milligrams of the finest free coffee on the planet. When I mean free, I don't mean it costs nothing. I mean it makes you feel free, okay?
Next to nothing. Costs next to nothing.
It's close.
Use the code FLAGRANT.
Tell them.
Head to blackrifle.com/flagrant. Use the code FLAGRANT. Get 30% off your purchase.
30% off.
Your first order. Well, look at that. Blackrifle.com/flagrant. Use the code FLAGRANT.
Black Rifle Coffee.
Also, grocery stores if you want to not save money. All right, guys, let's take a break real quick because we got to talk to you about financial issues. Look, if you are in debt, if you are struggling, you are not alone. And I know you feels like you're getting buried. And sometimes it feels like you're working, all your money, all your effort is just going to pay your lenders and it's not going to your bank account. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. All you gotta do is holler at PDS Debt. PDS Debt does more than manage your debt. They empower you to take control. They go beyond the numbers. This is important. They understand your unique financial situation, and then they craft a personalized plan designed just for you. That means it's not some cookie cutter solutions. They give you a clear path to financial freedom that fits your lifestyle, and the best part, there is no minimum credit score required. That means Even if you're not white, they might work with you. Your credit is bad or fair, they're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs, which is in your savings account. Getting started is easy, guys. All you have to do is go to pdsdebt.com/flagrant to complete your free debt analysis and see what options are available to you. Guys, every day you wait is costing you money, so get started with your free debt analysis in just 30 seconds at pdsdebt.com/flagrant. Again, that is pdsdebt.com/flagrant. Take back control by visiting pdsdebt.com/flagrant. Now let's get back to the show.
There's a lot of comedic drama happening in India right now.
Yes.
This started popping up on my socials because anytime somebody gets like canceled for a joke abroad, especially, I get tagged in like posts that have like lettering I don't understand. And like it's always something in the translate is like, oh, if you think this is bad. Right? Did you get those as well? It's like,
no,
you think this
first
is bad?
I got
watch some Schultz stuff.
You gotta save your boy or something. And they added Ranveer Allahbadia, who I've mentioned on this podcast. He's like a big podcast.
That's Beer Biceps.
Beer Biceps. He's India's Rogan.
Oh, wow.
And so he's a big deal. He said, like, hey, I only started podcasting because of Joe Rogan. He's a sweet kid.
Respect.
Helped me get
and
to the
you did the pod with him, and that
I've
shit
done his
blew
pod
up.
in 2 episodes. But then there's this other Indian comedian, Samay, Raina. Very funny kid. He won like India's version of Last Comic Standing, but it matters over there.
Okay.
Joke writer, purist, like loves the craft. He started the show similar to Kill Tony, but he gives Kill Tony credit. It's a crossover of Kill Tony and India's Got Talent a little bit. It's called India's Got Latent. Latent doesn't matter. It's just like a play on the word talent. But the idea is not just comedy. You as a contestant come up, you do a talent. Before you do the talent, you give yourself what score you think you'll get on a 1 to 10. So if you are self-aware and you're like, I'm a 4, and we didn't like your act and we give you a 4, even if we thought you're a piece of shit and that's why we gave you a 4, you could still win. Because your score, it's not about who's the best. It's about who's got the most self-awareness. It's a really clever concept.
I just want to point out one thing.
That's dope.
Tony, before you get upset that somebody has, taken your show, I just want to point something out. This is very serious right here. India has taken Superman, Batman, every Marvel movie, every huge billion-dollar blockbuster movie they've made into Bollywood. And now they're doing it with Kill Tony.
And he's a fan, and he gives Tony credit.
But that's the ultimate sign of respect. Where an Indian cultural institution has taken your concept and ran with it.
My understanding is he's truly like, these people can't make it to India to do Kill Tony. Let's bring Kill Tony over here. And the show, it goes bonkers. I'm talking like it's India, but like
it makes like $3,000 a year.
No, not dollars.
You deserve royalties on that.
Not dollars, but views 20 million a net. It's like fucking insanely big. It becomes a part of the zeitgeist.
Like the cultural conversation.
Samay becomes this massive star. He was already a good comic, respected, but now he's out of here.
Right.
One episode they're doing, and just like Kill Tony, he's got his guests who are celebrities. One episode they're doing, Ranveer Allahbadia, who's a sweet kid, asks the contestant a hypothetical. Hey, would you rather watch your parents have sex forever or join in to make it stop? Seems like a fun hypothetical. All of a sudden, there's this massive uproar. They're threatened with going to jail, legal issues. It's like getting FIR, I forget what that stands for, but essentially like we're preparing a legal case against you. Ranveer's parents, like people are.
So it's not even Samay.
Both are getting threatened, but Ranveer.
He didn't even say the joke.
No,
Ranveer said the joke.
And people who were at the taping said Ranveer, after he said it, checked in on the guy. He's like, "Hey, that didn't hurt your feelings." Which is like, you didn't mind that too much. That wasn't too bad for you, right? Checks in again after the episode. Hey, you're okay with that? The guy's like, "Yeah, it's all good." They keep in the episode. Suddenly, it just becomes this massive case of how dare you put something that obscene in entertainment. India has the most violent fucking movies. There's a movie called Animal that came out in 2023. Great movie. It's maybe the most violent movie I've ever seen in my life.
But they're killing Muslims.
No, other Indians, which is a problem. Joking about Muslims probably okay, but and there's also, Indian comics have gone to jail for making jokes about like that are adjacent. A Muslim comic went to jail for making jokes that's like adjacent to Hinduism, and not even really.
So they're going through their comedy struggle, which happens in every country. Like this happened in America too. I understand things are going to be inflated there at a different level, and there's probably going to be more severe actions taken. But like it's not to say that this isn't a common occurrence historically. Like there have been American comedians that got arrested for, you know, what is it, the 7 deadly words or whatever it is.
7
like,
words you can't say on television.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not potentially way worse there.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is it is common that as comedy pops up in a country and you start to say things that the society or culture does not digest with great frequency.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people not really understanding like the intention is to make people laugh. There is this knee-jerk rebellion, this knee-jerk reaction that is oftentimes negative and punitive.
There's a lot of people who have no idea what stand-up is, and they're getting offended by this. But two things are different. One,
and sorry, they don't have free speech as like a core.
That is the second difference. First difference is back then they're not going to dox you. There's no internet. You can find out who Lenny Bruce's mom is. Ranveer is like, his mom is a doctor. People are pretending to be patients coming in and then like threatening and whatever. Second difference is there is not a constitutional right to free speech. India's constitution, I'm going to fuck this up a little bit, but it's essentially like you have the right to make your speech and they have the right to get offended, and then we can kick it up to the legal battle and see what's going to happen. It seems like legally they're going to side against the comics and say the reaction toward them is not okay. You can't take violent action on your own, but these people should be censored. So that is where I'm not going to speak ill of the Indian government because I'm terrified of them. Whatever they, God bless. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever fear you have about Candace Owens, 100x. So, yeah, guys, hey, no ill will here.
That's not a knock on you, Candace. All right? Listen, we have a lot of fear, and we want to make sure that you keep on doing the great work that you're doing about the Baldoni case and also about Macron. Anyway, back to this.
But what I will say is freedom of speech is not a real thing in India. It doesn't exist like that. Right. So if you are a comedian, that's a real fucking issue. I don't know any solution other than get the fuck out, because they're going to pass a law. And I don't know if this is anything, I'm not speculating at all, but, keep my family safe. But they're going to eventually pass a law that is, you don't get to say what you want as a comic. We get to dictate what was
the answer to the hypothetical?
I don't remember, but I think we all have the same answer.
You get back in there, right? You were in there once. You know what I mean? You go home. You go home. You end it, and then you're going to watch them forever?
I think you get desensitized after
I didn't think about that.
That's the point.
That move again. Come on,
man. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know.
Watch it forever. Does that mean like every night that you go home they're doing it, or do you have to sit in the room forever? Because I couldn't sit in the room forever.
Sit in the room forever is not fair. You got to watch it once a day for the rest of your life.
Yeah. No, we could do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I'd go that way.
Absolutely. That's to me, that's the worst part of the hypotheticals. We all have the same answer.
Yeah. And plus, my dad got a bigger dick than me and shit. Like, come on, I can't get involved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You'd rather watch your dad bigger dick fucking your mom.
You worried about not pleasing your mom?
Oh, no. Bro, disappoint your parents again?
I know, bro. Shit.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
I wonder why he
that's
left.
what's funny to me. We hear this on fucking public radio in America, and there it's unbelievable. How could you?
So they're taking it seriously. They're taking the hypothetical 100% seriously. They're not seeing that both situations are awful and vulgar and obscene. And the reaction they have is right. Like, yes, it's awful, vulgar, and obscene. That's why I'm asking it, because you have to choose between these two things that are horrendous, and you wouldn't want to do either one of them.
No, it seems like the Indian free speech law in the Constitution imposes restrictions on certain things like defamation, security of state, but also decency and morality. So now you have like morality police basically saying, hey, this violates the Indian law of
So yeah, to be honest, any law the government passes is not unconstitutional. Whereas here it'd be unconstitutional. It is a direct violation of the Constitution that is freedom of speech. It's pretty absolute. There it's not absolute. So if the government passes a law, it's on y'all for voting for it. Like the government didn't do anything.
And this is the perfect thing for them to step in on, because there are very few people that are not comedy fans that would be supporting questions like, would you fuck your mom so that your dad would stop fucking her every day in front of you?
Yeah.
Like they'd be like, we don't need this. Yeah. They don't realize the trickle down effect of that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a very easy thing to get on board with if you're not a comedy fan. It's designed kind of brilliantly by the government, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's been plenty of other jokes that have caused an uproar.
Yeah.
I mean, you've told me this before. There have been comedians that got in trouble. Even Veer, when he came on here, didn't he get in trouble with something?
Yeah. He wrote a thing called Two Indias. It's like more serious, but he got in trouble for that. He got the FIRs thrown at him. They're threatening him with legal action. Like, and when people ask, Indians ask, why don't you do a tour here? I hate that because I feel like I'm letting them down, but like, it ain't worth it. The risk reward is just not in my favor. So no, I'll do a pop-up show, maybe. Like pop into a spot even, but I don't want people there policing and looking for whatever, you know what I mean?
But the concern is not your life. The concern is your family.
My family's life.
Right? Because you could do a show and then it's going to be like an international dust up.
Yeah.
But they're not going to arrest an American comedian that's going over there because it's going to make them look bad. Now Trump gets involved.
Yeah.
He, you know him. That's the homie. He's been on the pod.
True.
So Trump's not going to let an American doing something that is core to our values, right? Go over there, get arrested and get locked up.
Yeah.
But he can't protect your cousins, your uncles, and all these other people.
Exactly.
Ooh, man.
They kicked Vivek out of there pretty quick. I don't know how much they come into his defense, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good ass point, bro.
Oh, yeah. No, but I'm riding on him. If it's America versus India, we'll win. I'm American to Indians, and I'm American
Yo, clip it.
to them. And I'm American to them if India's got a problem with me. Then I'm American to Americans. Yeah.
It's been interesting to see the international reaction to Trump, though. Like, Trump has all these international fans. And I wonder if, like, some of the things that they believe that he's fighting against here, they hope that their government officials would fight against. Like, corruption is not a thing unique to America in any way, right? Institutional distrust is not unique to America. So when you brand around this idea of like, hey, we're taking down these corrupt institutions, you know, we're taking down these corrupt politicians, we're draining the swamp. Like, shit, every country out there is like, yeah, why don't you drain this swamp? That's the reason I'm broke, because that swamp is so fucking big. So,
bro, speaking of Trump in India, did you see him talk to this reporter?
This shit was so good, bro.
This is one of the all-time.
This shit is so
I mean, he's
good.
just a clip machine.
I never
Do you
related
think
to
that
him
should
more.
continue here in the US as well?
You're going to have to go louder.
Mr. President, people in India would be welcoming your decision to extradite Tahabur Rana to...
I can't understand a word he's saying.
See? It's not just me.
So
No, I had trouble understanding.
So this is an interesting. I want to get back to this side. Like, this is an interesting thing that I've noticed with Trump is like, people always say this. I especially liberals often say this. They're like, why the fuck do working class people relate to this guy? He's a billionaire. And I think an interesting thing with Trump is that, like, billionaires don't really relate to him. He talks working class. Right? Like, that's a working class thing to say. Like, a billionaire polished person would be like, would you mind repeating yourself? Like, because he understands the repercussions of saying some shit like that. But a dude that works at the plant and some Indian guy's asking him a question is like, yo, can someone translate the English to English? I have no fucking clue what's going on. And that relatability allows him to connect to those people, which financially he's not connected with at all. I was talking to the reporter that we had on, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That he was here just about that. And it was we had that conversation about like, what is the fundamental issue? Like, what is the issue with the Democrats? And we were talking out in the hallway, and it was like, Republicans, and not all of them at all, but like, Trump feels like he can hang. He feels like you could talk to him and you're not like worried about what you say. With Democrats, if it was a private room and nobody's around, and we had fucking Tim Walz in here, we got fucking Buttigieg or something, like one of these guys, like, yeah, we could hang, we could say whatever and it doesn't really matter. But the second the cameras go on, they're like, if I mention the pronouns thing is a little bit absurd, am I going to get blowback? And they don't know where the line is. I think, Mark, you said something like that. They just don't know where it is. And when you don't know where the line is, you speak in this like unrelatable way. Right? And that is something that Democrats are going to have to figure out. You have to figure out how to just speak freely and relate to normal people. And you can't do that when you don't even know where your line is.
No, I figure they just have too many donors that have special interests. And it's like, ooh, if I say this one thing, I'm going to piss off this donor.
But
if
also
I say this one thing, piss off that.
I think you catch Republicans with that, especially with like the gun stuff. But there's a little bit more like, and it's going to get obviously too far and be annoying on the Republican side as well. But there's a little bit more freedom to be like, shut up with that kind of nonsense. You're being ridiculous.
And
whereas like
Trump.
Democrats are like, all right, I'm gonna piss off the identity politics people. I'm gonna piss off these people. I'm gonna piss off those people. You're constantly concerned about the piss off, and he doesn't seem that concerned about pissing people off, which is refreshing.
He's also in an easier spot. Like, right-wing people in general are able to just be like, hey, let's just go back. We're conservative. Well, let's not change shit. Whereas liberal people have to be like, all right, what are we changing? What are we pushing forward as policy? And what are the new lines? They're literally trying to find new lines, so they don't really have a sort of cognizant view of what the lines are.
Like, when your party is wrapped around progress, you have to continue to progress. And sometimes you maybe progress too far. Like, NATO's job is to expand. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you work in NATO, they're like, all right, where else can we get NATO? And then maybe you go too far. And then maybe there's a war that none of us want to be a part of.
If the ACLU is like, shit's pretty good, they're done. It's a wrap. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah. But you do need progressives.
Yeah.
Because you need to get to a point where they're not fucking lighting gay people on fire.
Yeah.
So it's that unfortunate pendulum swing, and they need to find a way to be progressive without alienating the majority. Because I feel like in their efforts to embrace minorities and embrace the people who don't really have a voice, they've kind of alienated the working class, which is the majority of people in the country. So they need to figure that shit out. And that shit ain't easy. It's not as easy as going to get the pronouns out of here.
Yeah.
Like, that's a tough...
It's the class issue that they're like tiptoeing around.
What you mean?
Like, they don't want to acknowledge the class issue and like try to go at like billionaires the way Bernie did.
Oh,
So,
because they're in bed with the billionaires.
Yeah, like
oh, wait, the Democrats or the Republicans?
Democrats. Like, I mean, kind of everyone.
I think both.
But like
Yeah.
Democrats, like in America, are like kind of right in comparison to the rest of the world. So like they're tiptoeing around the class issue and going at like all the, you know, like pop culture shit.
Yeah, Republicans being in bed with billionaires doesn't surprise us. It's in line with lower taxes. They're the party for the rich.
But that is a great point. Like, if they made their cause about the wealth gap and then let all the other stuff kind of go to the side, I'm not saying we just fucking ignore what gay people, whatever. I'm not saying ignore. But if they made the core identity of it Bernie, which was, hey, you got these institutions that are taking advantage of you, and you got these rich people that are taking advantage of you. I think that the average working class person could kind of look the other way about some pronoun shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But because, like you said, they're afraid to address it, they got to lock into these other things that, unfortunately, for those people, the rest of America really doesn't care about at the same level that they care about the wealth inequality.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, it's a bigger issue that affects more people.
It is.
Yeah.
It just...
And Republicans are the party of the rich, and a lot of them think, "Oh, I'm going to be rich too one day." So
That's
it's like-
Americans.
yeah.
Every American think they're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happens in India? What happens with these guys? Like,
So they've already taken down all the episodes. Like, that show is off the air. It's not. I tried to look up how many views there were.
They took it down, or the government
I think they were like the government was like, take down all the episodes, and they were like, we will comply. I don't know for a fact, but it seems like what it is based on reading. Like, Samay put, sorry, they both apologized. I wasn't trying to offend anybody. I wasn't whatever, which was like, again, in America, you don't have to do that. I think in India, you have to fucking do that. So I don't know. I just tweeted it before I even knew what was happening. I was like, I don't give a fuck what Ranveer said. I know him. I like him as family. I'm riding with him. Then I said something else, and somebody was like, somebody should be fined every time they cuss. It's just like, my dick, you dumbass motherfucker, which I thought was a joke. These tweets made it to the Times of India because here you can just stand up for those guys. There you cannot. Nobody's saying it.
Oh, your tweets made it.
My tweets, their whole article. An Indian comedian who interviewed Trump.
You need to chill the fuck out.
But again, I can stand. I'm not going to criticize the government. I just know I can stand on what comedy is and what free speech is. I'm comfortable. I'm confident in that. The government, theoretically, if they do pass this law, they're not doing anything unconstitutional. So as much as I'm afraid of them, I wouldn't even say what you're doing is X, Y, Z, because that is the Constitution. They are within their... I can't call it some gross misuse of power. The Constitution was written cucky.
It's also fascinating how native freedom of speech is and like expression is in America.
Yeah.
That like even seeing the response from like Indian like Twitter users being like, oh, this is disgusting. Like this guy's a creep. He's issuing this apology. It was deliberate act in full consciousness. Like,
Keep in mind, marital rape is legal in India. You can't rape your wife in India. Impossible for that to be illegal. Wow. A hypothetical about fucking somebody.
Wow.
That's illegal.
What is this word, sanskar?
Sanskar is, I think, traditions.
So decency, culture, and traditions are not his forte.
Yeah.
So basically people saying you're violating what it means to be Indian, which is like decency and respect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then you got to wonder, like, is the way America does shit, like freedom of expression in America, is that applicable to all people? Is that inalienable and human, or is that just a cultural thing?
That's a cultural thing.
You know what I mean? Like, so at a certain point as Americans, do you look at this and go, oh, if that's what works for them,
yeah, and
or should we stand up for freedom of speech and for comedy?
That is the issue, and
it's the age-old question, man.
Yeah. I think we are often. I was like, freedom of speech is under attack in India. It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's such a crazy notion that we are in a country like cancel culture is like people fucking use it to make money. I think here a lot, and it's a little annoying. There, it is truly your life is in jeopardy. We'll throw you in jail. We'll take everything from everyone you love. Don't fuck around.
Is this one of those things where we're projecting our values in the same way that we're like, yo, you got to let women drive in the Middle East or whatever, just because we let them drive here. So now we're projecting our values on them, and we believe that free speech is a good, righteous, kind thing that human beings should have.
And over there, they're like, we have way less accidents, bro. What the fuck?
Like, we're good.
But it is the same, like, what is it, like intellectual imperialism, if you will. Like, we're not over there boots on the ground, but we're basically shaming you if you don't get American with your shit. At the same time, as a comedian, I'm like, I want comedians to be able to say way crazier jokes than that.
I'm going to support every Indian comic saying whatever. That's just a fundamental thing for me as an American who is a comic.
And the government over there is like, that's cute.
Yeah.
So
that's not the way our
we're gonna
Constitution
kill all
is
of
written.
them.
So what do you want to do?
Yeah, comedy isn't even part of their like identity as a nation. Like, comedy is an American art form. I can't imagine America. I can't imagine like American cultural institutions without comedy. And a restriction on that, we reject almost instinctually.
Yeah, it's like what's it viscerally? It makes me sick.
But this is some new shit over there. It's like
comedy's literally. I've done comedy longer than the country of India. It started, I think, December 2009. They like know exactly when it started. It's brand new to them. But I started 2007.
I wonder if it's like if they were like, breakdancing is vulgar. And we'd be like, what are you talking? It's not, it's just dancing. They're like, nah, we outlawing that shit.
Yeah.
Like that's how new it is to them. So they're like, we can do without breakdancing. We've been here for 5,000 years and there was no fucking breakdancing. We'll be fine without it.
And we're also like taken off guard by this because we're like, there's no way that could happen here. But there, you almost have to wonder, like, did they know, right? Like, I don't think that's what happened in this case, but like, let's say there's a comedian that's warned 2 times. Like, hey, the jokes you're saying, you're going to get put in jail. And then he says it a 3rd time. Is all of a sudden is our empathy for their restriction of freedom of speech the same? Because it's like, yo, you understood what the consequences.
This is why. Sorry, the other thing people are like making an example of him. Maybe they are. I don't know. To me, it's weird because if they were doing that, he's been fairly. The criticism I hear a lot about Ranveer is he's very like the government's whatever. Like he's pro-government, pro-whatever. Like he's up their ass when people criticize him. So for them to make him the example, I'm like, well, that doesn't even add up to me.
Well, is there
could be possible, but it just doesn't add up to me.
Is there any? You said he's the Rogan of India, right?
Yeah.
Is there any version where they're looking at America and? All right, let me bring it back. You know how like China locked up their tech CEOs?
Yeah.
And I imagine they looked at America and maybe other countries, and they saw that the power that these like tech CEOs had, and their ability to influence culture, laws, and they went, you know what? I don't know if we want to. I think we need to send a message to these tech CEOs in China that they still work for us.
Yeah.
And that we make the real decisions. So you lock them in a basement for a month, and then you let them out, and then they can continue doing their stuff. But now they know. If you're saying that he's the Rogan of India, I wonder if this is just a message like, yo, you're not bigger than the system.
Yeah.
And we're going to let you know right now you're not bigger, even though you've been good, even though, as you're saying, the criticism, he's been up their ass. It's just another reminder. Whereas with Rogan, you can't do that here.
Yeah.
You can't. They've tried. CNN have tried to like shame him. All these different publications have tried to shame Rogan. But like at the end of the day, the American people are going to ride with the guy that they feel is giving them the truth.
Yeah.
And not the rhetoric.
To your point, they could be, and what the conspiracy theorists are saying, whether they're right or wrong, I'm not going to say, but the conspiracy theorists are saying, well, the law they're trying to pass is about online content and being able to censor that, which would be, to your point, all online content we can't control. If I'm another country, we can't control. We need to figure that out. Let's pass a law.
I mean, look,
theoretically, let's use the guy that's been sympathetic to us, so they know like it doesn't seem like a hit piece, or it doesn't seem like we're making an example of him and sacrificing him, even though we might be. Nobody's going to say that because they're going to say, "Oh, this guy's pro-government," so they just really believe in this bill.
But he's sympathetic now. You know what I mean? Like you got to have some control, right?
Yeah.
True. You never know. And also, he might be sympathetic to the government, but he might be also sympathetic to the Ambanis or another very powerful family. And maybe that's the government going like, hey, we're daddy. And you got to abide by this, because putting too much power in one person, as you've noticed in America, like Joe has the influence, he can sway elections. He can sway culture. Even before the election, he can move culture in a way that will affect the election.
Yeah.
The election's downstream.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah. I wonder what happens in those rooms. Like, how crazy is it that comedy is at this level where the government needs to potentially step in and apply punitive measures to scare people into relinquishing their power and influence.
Yeah.
That's what a time to be in a comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. It's a scary thing, man.
But every institution has a version of that, because it's like there's words we don't say on here because we know the platform we put it on. Even though we want to say the joke, we won't do it because we know we can potentially get kicked
off. We bleep it. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good
legal.
point.
It's not legal. It's not the government coming down on you.
That's true. But Google, government has their hand. Sure. It's like, what's allowed, and we don't like these words being said. I can see that happening.
I just think the leash is a lot shorter over there, and I have to ride for comedy and the ability to do comedy. Otherwise, it's going to me telling every comic in India, well, you just need to leave, get a fucking seek asylum, get a visa, go to what you love somewhere else.
So where is Samay? Why don't we get him on the pod?
I would love to try to. I was trying to get him, he's doing shows in Canada right now. I talked to him. He's holding up okay, but he's like a single entry visa, so we got to be able to figure out how to get him back here, but I would love to have him on. I don't know what he's going to be willing to say, but I would love to talk to him. I would love to, because I'm safe in America, I would love to bring light to this issue. I can understand why bigger comics in India are staying silent, but me in America, without trying to make too many enemies, I would like to have some conversation. And maybe he's just asking a bunch of hypotheticals and, having fun, and he can't answer them, and that's kind of fun for me.
That's the tricky thing when it starts to affect your family.
Yeah.
Like most of us are willing to take it on.
Yeah.
You take on the criticism, and in America it's different. It's online criticism, people making comments or saying stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying death threats, but it's like, okay, whatever. But when they pull up to your mom's job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not worried about that? Like your tweets are getting picked up in the Times over there. You have family back there.
You know how many sings there are?
It's true.
I mean,
that's true, and they'll probably think
can tell them apart.
No, they can't. They all think I'm Punjabi.
Let them.
I do. But yeah, I guess to me, it's like it's not anti-government. What I'm saying is just pro being able to make jokes. And I guess to me, I hope that people can make that distinction of like, I'm going to defend comedy. I'm a comic. Unequivocally, this is what I will do. I don't know that they will, but like, I'm not going at the government. I would never do something that's fucking crazy. I mean, I fear them. So there you go.
Gotcha.
That's on record, everybody. Government, I'm afraid of you. I want no smoke.
It was like, I remember when we were in Russia, and there was like part of me that was like really enticed by like doing, now I don't have family in Russia, so it's fine. And I'm like, what's the international incident that's going to come from that? Like, it's not going to be I'm no bargaining chip or whatever, but at least it's in your brain.
Yeah.
And it feels a little bit more exciting because the stakes are higher.
Yeah.
Any joke feels more exciting. Even when we were in the Middle East, like doing those jokes felt a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
Because of the cost. But at the end of the day, I get to go, all my family's open. I don't have any family in Russia. I have no family in the Middle East. Like, I'm not concerned about anything happening to them. And the worst thing that happens is like I get arrested and then it's this international news story and then I get to come back home. Like, that's the worst thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The family thing is crazy. I mean, this is like what North Korea has on all their people. It's like, yo, you can try to run, but like, we know where your dad works. We know where your cousin is. Like,
yeah.
So like, you can be a martyr, but you want your whole family to be
They didn't
martyrs.
sign up for this. I actually, an Indian comic said that to me. His wife was getting sued. He was getting sued. I won't say he was just because it's not worth it probably, but he was like, they didn't sign up for this. That's the thing that fucks me up. And he's like, I'm probably going to leave because I understood what I was signing up for. They didn't.
Yeah.
This person just fell in love with me. That's their crime? Mm-hmm. I can't do that to them.
That sucks. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Samay, we'd love to have you on, dude. We'll try to figure it out.
As long as you're alive, because they kill Indians in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the government will send you over.
They'll send like a hitman out after him.
Yeah, it's true.
Imagine he got killed because of your tweets.
I made him immortal. I made him immortal.
Actually, no, he'll come back. That's the other thing. Like, why are you stressing so much about your mom getting killed?
That's true. Well,
like, do you believe it or not?
Then I lose her this lifetime. I'm not worried about her soul. I'm selfishly like, I'm a misser.
But I'm also like, if you're the government, if you're like killing...
Samay ain't married. He could go.
No.
Who cares?
I'm saying like, if you're the government just killing somebody, you know that they're going to come back as like a fish or whatever. Like they'll do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really not a good punishment. Keeping them alive and making them watch their parents have sex every single day seems like a way better punishment.
That is a fair law. Yeah, you got to deal with whatever your words were. Yeah.
That's funny.
Did any of y'all watch the sad ass NBA All-Star game or
Dog,
weekend?
I didn't even. I think the NBA is in trouble. I didn't even know it was All-Star Weekend. I forgot. Completely forgot until I checked Twitter. It was apparently horrible.
Yeah, I tried to tune in Sunday. It was really.
So what was the format? It was my understanding is it was instead of 2 teams, East and West, it was 4 teams and then a tournament. One of the teams is the Rising Stars, and then the other ones, Chuck, Shaq, and Kenny picked their own teams, and then they played.
Yeah, it was like the OGs, so the older All-Stars, then the younger All-Stars, then the Rising Stars, and then there's like the foreigner team, so they put like all the Djokovic's and all that type of shit on.
Why?
And then it was just first to 40, and then
they
They
played.
did the H-1B visa team. That's fire.
Why was the All-Star game exciting when we were younger?
I don't know.
And here's another question. Was it?
Yeah.
I remember watching in 2001, and I remember it was like kind of boring at first, and they said these guys are going to start trying in the fourth quarter, and it was awesome in the fourth quarter. When they really started trying, and I don't remember them ever trying since then. Jordan and Kobe in like 2003.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I don't think they were getting paid enough money. You know what I mean? Now you're getting paid so much money, you're like, I'm not going to risk getting injured for nothing.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's an inconvenience.
Yeah. Whereas
Like-
back then, you're like, I'm playing for honor. Like, I'm Kobe. I'm going to show everyone I'm Mamba. And so he like would go off.
And they would really showboat for the first 3 quarters, and then the last one they're playing.
And now it feels like they don't even care?
Yeah, it's like no defense, it's slow lobs. It's just like
horrendous.
It's like shit. Yeah.
So I used to be more excited for that than Super Bowl Sunday.
And
now I'm like, I don't even know.
LeBron fucked up the dunk contest because the years that we wanted him in it, he's like, nah, it's too risky for my body. So then all superstars stopped doing the dunk contest. So
And now we
it's
got a
just
white
no
guy
names.
winning.
Yeah. Mac McClung's fire though.
No, he is fire. Shout out Mac. But like, that is a tricky thing. So the superstars stopped doing the dunk contest. So now we have less interest in that.
Yep.
The superstars aren't even playing their hardest, and some of them don't even play. LeBron tapped out like an hour or 2 before.
Yeah. Which Stephen A called out, and I love LeBron, but I agree with Stephen A here. It's like, you could have just not played and given someone else a spot. Why would you wait so long? Play or don't.
Yeah. But he wants that little byline.
That says
19-time
20-time All-Star.
Yeah.
So how do they...
But also, what would you do if you're advising like Wemby or you're advising...
don't play hard.
Yeah, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I have a contract that is guaranteeing you $350 million.
Yep.
I don't want you playing I don't let you play back-to-backs.
You're not allowed to go skiing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let you play basketball hard, like for nothing. It's crazy.
No benefit to my team at all. Yeah, they're in a tricky situation. I mean, you saw it happen with the NFL All-Star game. That shit is flag football.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
trash. Nobody watches it.
Yeah.
Actually, it would still get big ratings, which is crazy.
Really?
That
really?
makes
Oh, I
no
didn't
sense.
know
It
that.
would still get pretty good. It would still get bigger ratings than every other sport.
I thought it was such a problem that they had to move it to the week
They
after
did that
or something
the week
like that.
between the Super Bowls and or between the championship and Super Bowl. The ratings weren't great relative to NFL games, but they were still shockingly high.
Oh, really?
Relative to other sporting
All right,
events.
fair enough.
Like, I
But
like the
still,
celebrity game.
It was embarrassing.
Celebrity game more than anything because I'm like, oh, I got to see Kevin Hart play.
Because you're trying.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're trying. They have a little ego about it, and you get to see people play that you would never imagine playing.
Yeah, that's fun.
That like they tried to change it by making it like first to an X amount of points because then there's a cap and people start to play defense to be like, well, you're not going to get closer than me to the. They were attempting to make the game more competitive.
All right, I got you.
Which it was.
I know how to
was a
do
little
it.
bit.
I think I could save this shit. For 1 year, I could save it. I don't know if it goes past 1 year. But what do NBA vets, what do like retired NBA players always say? Oh, back in my day with the hand checking rules, whatever, I would have scored 30 if it was like this, or I would have done whatever. You make the game the current All-Stars versus retired All-Stars. Okay? And you give the retired All-Stars some sort of like cushion, some sort of lead, whatever.
Yeah.
And now you're playing for pride. Now all those guys that were talking all that shit on ESPN all year, how they would lock up Steph or what they would do to this person, what they would do to that. Maybe you even switch it to like the old rules where hand checking is allowed, or like you allow them to play the defense of their time. I don't know. You need to create rivalry that we want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see Kendrick Perkins talking all that shit about fucking Wemby and then have to guard him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Problem is they're all so out of shape. Not all. So many of them get so out of shape.
But they knew. If they knew, all you got to do is come up for one game.
Yeah.
You know, you just need something else. Like
Or make
right
them
now,
golf. Like, what if you had like Jordan versus Steph, like golf tournament?
So basically, don't do the sport that we're watching.
Like that you guys are gonna get injured on. Like you can play golf, no one's really gonna get hurt, but I'm gonna see two people go at it.
I mean, that would work. People would tap in,
right?
I remember they played horse one time. They've been trying.
What if you did like G League stuff, and if you win, you get in the league or something? Contract guaranteed.
Yeah. I think the only problem with that is that you don't have the stars, and the stars are what make it exciting.
That's fair.
You know, like
that's fair.
Yeah, it's just how do you do it, or do you just write it off? Do you do no game and just do challenges and I don't know.
Dunk contest, they should just fuck it. If no superstars want to do it, open it up to everybody on the internet, because there's some crazy
that would be
like IG dunkers that would be nuts.
They just dunk.
Yeah, and just do that. Just
that is the problem. The non-NBA dunkers are better than the NBA dunkers. So we're watching.
Just open that shit up to the best.
Yeah, we're watching it. We're supposed to be watching the best of the best this weekend, and we're watching worst dunkers in the dunk contest.
And I would say, well, we don't know who they are. I don't know any of the dunkers really. They're all rookies or second-year guys. I haven't heard them. I've heard their name, but I don't know about them.
And who's that guy who does like all the crazy trick shots online?
Lethal Shooter. Shout out Lethal Shooter. That's another thing.
I'm such a fan of his.
Yo, mix it up. Put it for the non games.
Yeah.
Put people who are not NBA players up against NBA players, but they got to be nice.
3-point shooting contest. Steph and Lethal Shooter. Get out, dog.
Now
that's crazy. I got to see that. I figured it out now.
I figured it out. I figured it out. No, that's fine.
And then give him a 10-day. Like if he beats Steph, you get a 10-day.
I don't know if he needs that.
You don't even need that.
Steph, dude.
No, that's fine.
Bro, you beat all the NBA guys at the 3-point con, and you only need one guy to make it into the finals.
Yeah.
And now you got the NBA players actually giving an effort because they want to prove they're the best. You got to tap into their competitive instinct a little bit.
Steph not letting some guy not in the league beat him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and if they do the shit talk that you get for the whole year, and then the next year the NBA is like, all right, no, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get it back. We're gonna prove we're the best.
I was interested when Steph shot against the girl. I forgot her name.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Ionescu. Like that piqued my interest because I wonder how that would actually go.
Yeah.
And then with NFL, I think the Pro Bowl, you should put it the week before the season starts. Get like all the best players to start the season off. Just create the excitement for the new NFL season because they put it after the Super Bowl, and after the Super Bowl,
it's like we're done.
Yeah, it's like that was
training camp to get in shape, get their bodies primed to whatever for contact.
The NFL is just so tricky because these motherfuckers get injured every single game.
Yeah,
there was it was a running back in the day. They were doing like not even the Pro Bowl game. God, I forget his name. Robert something. He played for the Patriots. He was good. Hadn't gotten his big contract yet, but he doing a beach football thing before the Pro Bowl game. Tore up his knee.
Oh no!
Never really played again. Was never the same. Fuck, I forget his name, but exactly the point. He was a caution. He just became a cautionary tale. I think a lot of players were like, I ain't doing that shit. No.
Did you see Chris Paul and Wemby sort of cheated on the first thing?
Yeah.
The skills challenge. Yeah.
Skills challenge.
What was the idea that like if you do it under a certain time, it's more beneficial?
Fastest, yeah, but you got more points by being faster. And they were like, fine, we'll throw the balls to the left and the right. You don't have
Instead
to
of trying to take shots. They just missed all the shots.
Yeah, Wemby's high IQ, bro.
That's all Chris Paul.
That's Chris Paul.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with his game.
He's just a little scrappy, kind of shitty, do whatever it takes to win guy.
Fire.
Which is great.
Smart dude, though.
I love it.
What are we betting on now, man?
Medieval martial arts. Have you been watching this?
The real NBA season starts now.
That's true. Now the NBA games matter.
Yeah.
Can you bet on hockey fights? Because apparently that's fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that the U.S. versus Canada.
Yeah.
That shit was fire.
If you're betting, the NBA is the move. Just go to Stake. You know what I mean? Use a promo code FLAGRANT.
I just want to remind you the Stake is the leader in global betting and U.S. social casinos. Bet on top sports and political events and use the promo code FLAGRANT for your welcome bonus. Now let's get back to the show.
But what if we bet on this, though?
No, that's fire.
This shit is fire.
Why is this fire?
Miles put me onto this, and it's crazy.
To me, this looks so stupid.
This is retarded.
So they actually fight. So it's basically MMA, but they also have swords and shields.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
stupid.
Who fucking cares?
No, that's fire.
What do you mean? This is crazy. Have you ever seen this before?
Punch a guy in a fucking shield, it doesn't hurt.
Boom. I mean, crazy.
I like that. Al
and look where they are.
Al says this doesn't hurt. Al fell skiing this weekend and is like decrepit.
Oh, wait, I didn't have
what's going on? Iron.
You fell in snow.
Nah, that guy might be dead, yo.
Yeah, he died.
Hard snow.
Wait a minute, Al.
It's hard snow. It's ice. It's very ice. We have really bad slopes. Nah, I'm fucking in pain. Like everything's burning right now.
All right, we got to go to Patreon immediately.
Yes.
Listen, y'all come fuck with us over at patreon.com/flagrant. We'll see you over there in a second. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.